exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
A gutty performance.
Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun!
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby, Stanley, and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's showtime.
And welcome in to the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Friday morning. Hope everybody's having a great day so far today. Active text line already on the program here today. Some even texting in about 4:45 this morning. It's good stuff.
The draft didn't go like you said, and you're an idiot. Let me sum it up for you.
We appreciate the passion on the text line. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that all day long. It's 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, how are you? Fresh off a late night at the Titans facility?
I believe I have, in the past, invoked the name Jeff Rudnick. Have I invoked the name Jeff Rudnick?
I believe so.
My former Lansing State Journal coworker?
Yes.
Well, in the words of Jeff Rudnick, I'm having a great day. Let's go.
That's good. Michelle, how are you doing?
Better now after that.
That's good.
I mean, my friends in Michigan would just love that impersonation. It means everybody else out there is like, what is wrong with this guy? It might be loopy today.
That's okay. That was me yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of loopy on the show
Sometimes
this week.
sometimes that turns out well. Sometimes that turns out poorly. We'll see how it goes today here on the program.
Let's make some history.
We got a lot to discuss from the first round of the NFL draft yesterday, including the Tennessee Titans at number 11, the process to hang around and stick there at number 11. We'll take your thoughts on the NFL draft all show long. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. And, Joe, the draft board plays out to where the Titans hang at 11, and they select Peter Skoronski, the offensive lineman out of Northwestern. We've been kind of joking about that for 2 months, that the quarterback discussion would lead to, and welcome in Peter Skoronski. And here we are on the Friday morning after the draft. He's here, and Titans have found another offensive lineman.
I feel so bad that he just happens to be I don't know why Peter Skoronski is like the example of like the quote unquote boring pick. But how many times do we like say Peter Skoronski? I actually meant to
At least 30.
I actually meant to say, like, Michelle, can you find all the instances of us saying, and here comes Peter Skoronski? Like, we actually were right.
We were.
So many times.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
But then yesterday gave us, hope that something wild was going to happen. But Peter's a good pick. It's a good pick, I think. But our brains were imagining some wild, fun thing.
Well, I mean, I think the Titans were imagining it, right? I mean, like, I personally don't think trading like something similar to what Houston traded to Arizona to move up to 3 to get C.J. Stroud would have been a good thing. I don't think it would have been a good thing, but I mean, I think it's clear. Well, it is clear that the Titans were interested in doing that.
I think it's clear that was the plan. Like, if Houston didn't go Stroud at 2, which that was kind of the smoke around Houston heading into the draft, was they weren't going Stroud at 2. Then if he makes it to 3 with Arizona, I think the Titans wanted him. I think the Titans wanted C.J. Stroud. And credit to the Texans. I mean, they played this game well. We talked about it with Charles yesterday. Maybe the original plan, or maybe I guess the illusion of the original plan, if you're the Texans, was, well, you could draft Will Anderson at 2, and then you could swing back around and move up from 12 and maybe end up with a quarterback then. But what you and I have talked about the whole time, and I believed it again yesterday as we were discussing it, the draft, is like, if you like one of those quarterbacks, why in the world would you pass on them at 2? Like, why would you take that risk if you were the Texans? And ultimately, that's what they weren't willing to do. They took the quarterback at 2, which I think is clearly the quarterback the Titans wanted. And when they did that at 2, there was nobody else to trade with from Arizona at 3. And Houston, I did not anticipate them moving back up to 3 to get Will Anderson after that, but they did. What a move by Nick Caserio and the Texans to kick that thing off yesterday. It was wild.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know if it's going to work out. Like, I mean, review the quarterback rankings. One guy I think is going to be great. He went number 1. He should have gone number 1. Bryce Young. But my rankings, I don't remember if our rankings differ or not, were Young, Stroud, Hooker, Richardson, Levis. Hooker and Levis still sitting there. But to me, there's a gap. And it's funny because Will Anderson, we did that exercise the other day on the 3 people you think are going to underperform the draft, and Will Anderson was one of my guys. So I look at this, like if I'm guessing right now, I think C.J. Stroud's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he was worth all that. I think Will Anderson's going to be a very good player in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be like LT. Now, look, you don't have to be LT. But if you go number 2, then you need to be a star. What the Houston Texans have done, their fan base now says we have 2. We got our star. We got our star quarterback.
Yeah,
right. We got a star defensive player, and
right.
They might be right. I happen to think that they're both overdrafted a little bit. We'll find out. But either way, I don't think there's any doubt. The Titans, Stroud was their guy. I don't understand why it was so important to make that known to the world yesterday. Yeah. I don't know, but I know a lot of people in the NFL think that making it known had an impact on the Texans changing course. And right now, anybody can spin this over they want. They say, well, the Texans were always going to take him at 2. Some people will say that today. But, again, we actually should play the Charles Robinson sound that we had about their plan. That wasn't their plan. Did the Titans jolt them into going back to Stroud? I mean, John McClain was like, they're
not doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like right there, okay, dude's been covering the NFL since 1977, okay? He was like, they're out on him. Or at least they're out on him there.
Right.
So that changed. And it may be that the Titans screwed it up. I think they may end up being better for it. Well, I mean, it's
one of my Titans
around
friends,
and around.
One of my Titans buddies had the conspiracy theory the other way last night. It was like they leaked it. Like they leaked that they wanted C.J. Stroud in hopes that the Texans would take him. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's how that went.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, maybe they really love Monty Ossenfort, and so they did all this so that he could get a nice haul.
Yeah.
And, I mean, because, the Cardinals.
They did well.
They did well, and the Texans did spend a lot. So it's like, I mean, it's a win. The Texans won, They won on draft night. The Titans lost on draft night. I'm not sure we'll look back 5 years from now and have the W and the L in the same places.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take your thoughts all show long. Let's go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in our friend Mark in Nashville. Mark, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Joe, Robby, Michelle. Hey, a couple of things. I'm sitting there listening to y'all. I think the Titans kind of, you're right, messed themselves up, man, leaking that stuff out. I think this is going to come back to haunt them, Robby. I mean, you still got Hooker and Levis fell. I thought he might go last couple of picks in the draft, but, he's still sitting out there. Hendon Hooker, are they going to go back and maybe try to get one of them to try to make up for the mistake that they made or whatever, whatnot? I mean, Houston had a great draft. Philadelphia, it's a criminal what they got out of the draft.
Man.
I mean, Howard Rosen's got to be the best GM in the NFL right now. I mean, he got a good lick on that draft right there, getting Nolan Smith and Carter. I didn't think he would fall like that, but he did. But hey, Philadelphia, Detroit, Joe, your team, they had a good draft.
Did they?
Yeah, getting the running back Gibbs out of Alabama, and
Campbell out of Iowa.
They have 3 running backs now.
Yeah.
I mean, they overdrafted a running back and an inside linebacker like it's 1993, but okay.
It was a very Lions move.
hey, Joe, but I got them to win the NFC North this year. They're coming, Joe.
They might.
They might. You need to come. Yeah, you need to come back and support your team. So aren't you from up in Detroit, Joe?
Oh, man, believe me. Hey, Barry, the day that they drove the greatest running back ever out of the game, I said I'm done with the Detroit Lions, and I've stuck with that. 1999, Mark.
Well, they got their new running back now. Jameer Gibbs.
I mean, I like him.
He's back.
I like him.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good draft. I thought Baltimore getting Zay. That was a good pick for Lamar, especially
like
with
that.
him signing yesterday. That was a good signing. So, but I think the Titans were left out in the cold, Joe. I think they made some boneheaded mistakes, man. I always thought the situation with we're not going to touch and we're not. I always thought that was kind of a lie, Joe. And the Titans, I don't know, man, what happened to them. But do you think they'll get Hooker or Levis in the second round today? Or you think they're going to try to do something? You and Robby, can you?
I think a lot of this show will be about that. That's a great question.
Yep. Thanks for the call, Mark. Have a good weekend, buddy. Yeah, it's well, look, he brought up something, obviously we're going to get to throughout the show there, but Will Levis not being drafted in the first round. They kept flashing up this graphic last night on ESPN, and by the time it got down to pick 27 or pick 28, the ESPN analytics were less than 0.01% or 0.1% that he would still be there at that point in the draft. You're like, jeez.
Analytics
on somebody's going to world drafted.
For all of us guessing about who's going to get drafted. Yeah. My God. Let's just use the word analytics for everything.
That's the world we live in now, my man. But yeah, Will Levis still available heading into round 2. And that's the other thing. Like, the Titans had a quarterback fall to him at 11. And they didn't take him. Beyond the Stroud stuff and trading up, once the Chicago pick rolled around and then Philadelphia traded up with Chicago, but once 9 rolled around, and really once 8 rolled around with Atlanta, I was like, Will Levis is going to be there at 11 unless somebody just trades back up in front of there, and the Titans are going to have an opportunity to pick him. And not only did they pass, but so did every other team in the first round passed on Will Levis.
I mean, just the Levis story alone here is I'm trying to think of. Look, we've seen quarterbacks fall. Okay, we've seen the thing. Especially, I think Aaron Rodgers and Brady Quinn are the biggest examples. There's another one recently that maybe wasn't as severe. We've had these situations. Players show up and they go way lower. In this day and age, with all, I think there's way more reporting. Again, like Dane Brugler, like the Beast, we cite it all the time. That's only in the last few years. It's so extensive. Read his write-up about Will Levis. I think this is the most surprising fall of a prospect I've seen because there's not a single mock draft in the world that doesn't have Will Levis in the first round.
Yeah.
and yet, right now it appears that all the gyms are like, get out of here, man. I don't know. It's wild. Man.
I have to assume that he's going quick today. Like, Pittsburgh's got first pick in the second round because of the Claypool trade. I have to think that teams are calling right now, just about moving up there. I would think.
Yeah, look, Hooker. I think we always knew, he could sneak into the late first, but certainly could be a second round pick. Levis is available now is stunning.
Yeah,
and it's a great question that Mark had because. Like, if the Titans were – we can get to this, next. But, like, if the Titans were to go with either of those guys, it's like taking a flyer on a quarterback for the second straight year. But it's also of good value.
It is. But it's also like if you really thought Will Levis was going to be your quarterback, like you were comfortable, like, we believe that Will Levis could be our starter for 10 years. He was there at 11. Like, why didn't you take him?
Right. And now that and there's no way you could be confident that he'd still be there at 41, right?
No, there's no way.
I don't know. It's a fascinating situation.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll have more on the draft coming up next. Chris, hang with us on our phone line. We'll get to you as well. Coming up next, this is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3, The Game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Matich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Last year, Jerry was all like, hey, I'm going to go to the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix this year. Then he didn't. Instead, he decided to weed his garden. And he missed an August weekend of IndyCar racing, supertruck racing, even night racing, all through downtown Nashville. Sure, old Jer had a lot of weeds to pull, but Jerry also totally sucks. Hey, don't suck like Jerry. Get your tickets at MusicCityGP.com for August 4th through 6th. The Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Get amped.
Attention buckaroos, it's time for the Franklin Rodeo. So saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede from May 18th to May 20th. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Ram Rodeo, Franklin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Williamson Health, Event 1FX, and Wesley Mortgage. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
312 Pizza Company is your spot for the best Chicago-style eats right here in Nashville. From thin crust pizza to deep dish pizza to Italian beef sandwiches and Chicago dogs. Doesn't get much better than that. Until now. 312 Pizza Company is now serving up their award-winning pizza by the slice. All day, every day. Don't have time to wait for a full pie? No problem. Get a slice instead. Order a full pie but want a little more? Add another slice. Do it. Honestly, just go get a slice. 312 Pizza Company. Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria. Go get a slice.
Interest rates are up, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Don't sweat it out another summer. Replace your old unit fast before new regulations increase prices up to 20%. Get a new unit today at today's price and receive up to $1,500 off. Or get 18 months of no payments so your first payment's not due till fall of 2024. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Book your appointment now at springhillac.com. That's springhillac.com. And happy spring.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
We are good to go.
Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're locked into Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty.
I have the radio on. I'm listening to
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Peter, how'd you settle on a pizzeria? What's the significance of the party where you're at tonight?
Yeah, we've come here my whole life. My dad's an investor here. My baptism reception was held here, so it's about as old as I am. So felt like, best place to have this major events, and pretty private too. So definitely a top spot to come.
That was Peter Skoronsky last night, watching the NFL draft at a local pizzeria. My kind of guy right there.
Yeah.
Go have some pizza, maybe some beer in there too.
Absolutely.
Watch the draft.
Absolutely. Big pizza party for the draft. That's fun.
Titan select Peter Skoronsky with the number 11 overall pick last night. It was a wild night in the NFL draft. Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. By the way, Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, helping home buyers and sellers in Middle Tennessee for 20 years. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Chris in Memphis. Chris, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Good morning, gentlemen. I think this is my first time calling in. Titans the truth here. First off, I know Titan fans were probably just a little disappointed that the flashy pick didn't happen. We're starting to have a theory on that, but I think at the end of the day, after sleeping on it, I think Skoronski will turn out to be a very good pick for this time because either he competes at left. I think it'll be a competition between Dillard and Skoronski. Winner is left tackle. The loser gets the consolation and become the left guard. So I think you're pretty much got 4 out of your 5 positions on the offensive line looking pretty good. According to with C.J. Stroud, I just think the Houston Texans, they screwed us over, and, I mean, they were smart about it. I think they had no intention of getting C.J. Stroud. They were going to go Will Anderson, but then when word got out that the Titans, it looked like the Titans and the Cardinals had a deal in place once the Texans got Will Anderson, but then when word gets out that the Titans were going to get Stroud, Texans are like, oh, no. We can't let our competition get one of the best quarterbacks. Let's get him and mess the Titans up. And then, Joe, you can throw this in Jarrett's face. I know you will. The look on his face when the Colts got Anthony Richardson is priceless.
Oh, Chris, thank you for the call, my man.
Oh, man. Outstanding.
It was awesome. I went back, as soon as the Colts took Anthony Richardson last night. You know, obviously I was at home watching, so I had the draft show on and I had the TV on watching the draft too. And I heard Jared's reaction and I had to go back on the stream and watch it. And right about the time I was going back to watch it, I got a text from you, just the screenshot of Jared's face buried into the table when the Colts took Anthony Richardson. It was beautiful last night.
And apparently, I didn't hear this, but apparently at some point he said, "I now hate the Tennessee Titans."
I think that was said, yes.
Just great stuff last night.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, to Chris's first point there, where Skoronski is going to play is interesting. Like, we've talked about him leading into the draft process. Like, I kind of am looking at this that he's probably going to be the starting left guard. Now, that's just the way I view it. Maybe he's not. Maybe they view him as the left tackle. And
I agree with Chris. I think they compete. You know? I think they compete. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that's where he ends up. Now, he said 4 of the 5 settle. I mean, look, you could look at it and say 5 are settled now.
Yeah.
If that's how it works out. If Brewer's the center, I think he's going to be the center. And we'll see how that works out. But I think it's better than left guard for him, and I think he could be fine there. And, who knows? I mean, there's more draft to come. And then, obviously, Brunskill at right guard and Petit Frere at right tackle. I don't know how good that offensive line is. It's very different. It's younger. I think it's more athletic. So could you have a dramatic jump in offensive line quality from last year to this year? I think you could.
I think you could, too. If he is guard, what do you think about taking a guard at 11?
Yeah. Some people are. I mean, I was just ripping on the Lions, so I got to be consistent here. Lions go, they go running back, who they could have gotten way later probably at 12, and then they go
inside linebacker
who they could have gotten way later probably at 18. Some people are just classic Lions. Some people are, bigger than others on the premium position idea. I mean, I say it this way. First of all, John Robinson's first draft, Jack Conklin, he ends up moving back up to get him at 8, and that's. Now, at the time, that you got to remember, too, at the time, it was like, okay, he played left tackle. He was a great left tackle at Michigan State.
Right.
Is he actually going to replace Lawan? Does Lawan go to the right side? Whatever. So you weren't sure at that point it was just a right tackle. That's how it ended up. But also, he was an all-pro as a rookie. So to me, like, if Skoronski does end up, I mean, look, Dane Brugler's evaluation, I wrote it in my column. I'll read it right here, said about Skoronski, quote, he's, quote, an immediate NFL starter inside at guard or center with a Pro Bowl ceiling. Okay. Well, if he's that level of player, then sure.
You'll take it.
You'll absolutely take it. But to your point, 11 is kind of rich for an interior offensive lineman. So it's like if he ends up being a good – and again, this is for Titans fans – who are fatigued or a little bit underwhelmed, I get it because that's 4 offensive linemen in the first 3 rounds in the last 4 drafts.
Right.
Now, they seem to be getting progressively better. You go from Isaiah Wilson, total disaster. Dylan Radins,
only mostly disaster.
Not good. Nicholas Petit Frere, there's promise there. He's a starter.
Yep.
And now, if they keep on that track, Skoronski's going to be really good. But if he's just like a starter for a long time, like a good player at guard, Yeah, it's 11's high.
Well, I will say this. Like, there are Titans fans that we've heard from the last couple of months leading into this was like, find me somebody in the first round that could step in and can play well immediately. Like, I don't know that Skoronski is going to be like an all-rookie or an all-pro or anything like that out of the gate. Based on what I've heard about him and based on what I've seen from him, I do feel good about him being a good starting player. Now, is that going to be worth the number 11 overall pick? We'll see. But I feel like he's going to start immediately this year. I have no doubt about that in my mind. Be that at left guard or left tackle.
It would be a tremendous disappointment if that's not the case.
Right.
Yeah. And look, there's a lot of moving around that could happen. Brunskill could move around. Corey Levin could beat out Brewer at center. I don't know. And like you said, right now Dillard, I think it's good for Dillard. There's certainly hope that Dillard is the guy, as a left tackle. But he was signed to sort of an in-between, kind of like a prove-it deal. And now he's got competition potentially. Maybe not. Maybe they come right in and say, you are the left guard for the next 10 years of the Tennessee Titans. Peter, get in there. Maybe that's what it is. But I like the idea of a competition.
Tyler on the text line, going back to the Levis conversation, says, Robbie, I disagree with you about people calling the Steelers for the 33rd pick. It would actually be 32. They only had 31 last night. If people were trading up to get him, you'd want to draft him in the first round so you can get the fifth-year option at quarterback. This is from Tyler on the text line. Look, I hear that.
Yeah.
Like the fifth-year option part of it. That's why I thought I thought it was given that Levis was going in the first round. That's why I thought somebody would jump up and grab Hooker, is because they wanted the fifth-year option on him. And now here both of them sit heading into day 2 of the draft, and neither one of them has been drafted.
So we've had a few texts on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com about the toe. Chris Mortensen tweeted about it. Some other people have too.
Whose toe?
The Levis. Levis's toe. The toe that was hurt this year. Some team, according to Mortensen, there were teams that were out because of that. Some believe he needs surgery on his toe. Look, if the Titans got him, I think this year he would have been the understudy to Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
that's not to me, that's not – no one is drafting Will Levis, I don't think, to come in and be the savior right now. If you have some injury like that, you need surgery. It's not some disastrous injury. It's a toe.
Right.
You get the surgery. Okay, great. We're going to sit as a rookie anyway. I think people are overblowing that pretty dramatically. Look, let's talk about information and misinformation. We're going to talk about a lot today on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back to a couple weeks ago when there was this stuff out about Will Levis and his interviews. Okay, is that some teams who really like him who are throwing that out there or what? I think right now I have to look at what happened and say he must not have impressed teams very much.
No.
Because, now you're right. You look at the football and also see a lot of picks and not great quarterback play. But he does have traits that are first-round worthy. There's – it's not just analysts saying this. If you go read coverage of this, there's a whole bunch of executives who are anonymous. So it's not like they're helping anyone or hurting anyone who are calling him that, talking about his traits.
Sure.
He must have hurt himself in the interview process. I can't come to any other conclusion right now.
615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. We got a whole lot more to get into with the NFL draft. We'll take your thoughts on the Titans, the slide of Will Levis, other things that stood out to you last night in the first round. We got a whole lot to get to. All that's coming up. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Hi, I'm UC Saros. And this is Smashville.
Now here's a try off to the side. What a stop made by UC Saros there.
Unreal. You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5, The Game.
Baseball fans, your home for the best baseball action is 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan with the ESPN Game of the Week and the Nashville Sounds. It's all brought to you by Superbook Sports, the #1 sports book in Vegas. Download the Superbook app today.
You want a mower that delivers a quality cut and an exceptional ride. You need the Kubota Z200 series with the new K-Ride comfort system. Designed to give you everything you need to glide your way to a perfectly manicured lawn. Visit your local Kubota dealer today.
Visit Coleman Tractor Company, your local Kubota dealer in Clarksville, Nashville, Paris, and White House.
Nashville is now home to an award-winning full-service spa, Mocara, located in the beautiful Omni Nashville Hotel. Features a wide range of signature services, including massage therapy, body and facial treatments, and yoga. This Mother's Day, treat your mother to a relaxing day at Mocara Spa. She deserves it. Purchasing your Mocara Mother's Day gift cards is easy. Go to omnihotels.com/Nashville or simply stop into the spa located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, 250 5th Avenue South. For more information, simply call 615-761-3600.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Tuning into the baseball game, monitoring the incoming storm, catching your favorite talk show. These are just a few of the reasons more than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio each month. And did you know AM radio is the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times? It's reliable, free, and public safety depends on it. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
Top of the 7th looks like a pitching change as they've set up for a corner kick. The two black belts have entered the mat, and the slider is low and away. He heads the ball to midfield. This is quite a kumite. Here comes the roundhouse. Has it got enough gas to get out of here? Unbelievable! They've bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Kick savings pitch karate.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt head coach Jerry Stackhouse. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. We are live from our 102.5 The Game studio. Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Taking your thoughts on the NFL Draft. The Titans select Peter Skoronski at number 11 overall last night. Houston, the story of the draft early, drafting C.J. Stroud at number 2, trading back up with Arizona, and getting Will Anderson at number 3. Anthony Richardson going to the Indianapolis Colts at number 4, and Will Levis sliding out of the first round, still available as we look ahead to the second round coming up later today. So, Joe, you look at the AFC South specifically last night, you've got Anthony Richardson coming in to Indy. You got C.J. Stroud coming into Houston. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is already in place there. So you're looking around if you're the Titans at the quarterback position, and you've got two young ones coming in, and Stroud in Houston, Richardson in Indy, and we knew that Indy was taking a quarterback. I always, I said this earlier this week, like the Stroud thing with Houston, I just didn't buy it. I thought that they were going to go Stroud, and they ended up going Stroud. So now if you're the Titans, you're looking around, and it's, okay, you got Trevor Lawrence down in Jacksonville, Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis, and C.J. Stroud in Houston. Now, the odds of all three of those guys working out are not high, but they are, young quarterbacks that every one of your divisional rivals now have, and you don't.
Right, like in this moment, and this is sort of like recruiting season, signing day, who won signing day, who had the highest rankings, all that, and sometimes now over time, Georgia and Bama, like they're probably going to be pretty good, probably a little bit of an indicator of success, but, signing day can – you can look back and, this 5-star was a total bust, and this 2-star became a star, whatever. I mean, it's like right now, in this moment, the Titans are left behind, left in the dust. Yep. Everybody else knows. Everybody else knows. Every fan base in this division knows, okay, it's all about C.J. Stroud now. And Will Anderson, by the way. And it's Anthony Rich. I mean, if I'm a Colts fan, of course there's a lot of possibility that Anthony Richardson does not work out. But how could you not be excited? I mean, this guy has tremendous The interesting thing about those two quarterbacks, to me, it's not the highest floor, because I think Bryce Young has the highest floor, and he has the second highest ceiling, but he's also the one guy I feel great about. But C.J. Stroud has a very high floor. Anthony Richardson, I think, has the highest ceiling. We agree with that?
I would agree. Yep.
Like the highest ceiling.
He might have the lowest floor, too.
Well, that's right. I agree. Well, yeah, I think so. A little bit lower than Levis's. Although, I mean, where is the floor? Look out below. And believe I don't mean to make fun of Michelle's guy. She's on the phone. It is like I wasn't able to watch. I was at Titans headquarters last night, writing and going to the president. But so I wasn't able to watch. But like God, there's I'm sure a ton of shots of Will Levis.
Look, he looked
suffering,
like
right?
I will say he looked like he was handling it pretty well last night.
That's good to know. But you got the AFC South is now you got 3 young quarterbacks. Everybody knows this is it. We'll see if it works out. Again, most guys don't. Like, I think C.J. Stroud's going to be a good quarterback. I'll be surprised if C.J. Stroud's a great quarterback. And if he's not a great quarterback, then in the end, I think this is better for the Titans. But people on the text line saying, when are we getting a quarterback? Why not this year? And my answer is they wanted to this year. I don't know that they were right in choosing him and being willing to give up what they were going to give up, but you can't say they didn't want to at this point.
Yeah, like I think there's too much smoke around the Titans, and I think as yesterday went on with the reporting around it, it became clear that C.J. Stroud was their target, and the Texans beat them to it. And we talked about this to start the show, but I think the Texans played it brilliantly. Now, there's a difference between the Texans playing it brilliantly and then that ultimately working out for the Texans on the field. Like the strategy to get their guys worked for the Texans. Now, will those guys end up being worth what all they've just done? I don't know. We'll wait and see on that front. But I think it's clear that the Titans wanted C.J. Stroud, and had the Texans not gone that way at number 2, we could be talking about the Titans moving up to number 3 today with Arizona and drafting C.J. Stroud. And obviously that didn't happen. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in LD from McMinnville. LD, good morning. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, guys. This is going to be like a huge text. I thought I'd just call you guys. So Joe nailed it. As far as them going quarterback now, I think it'll be a flyer at this point and would really be similar to last season, even though, Willis went 3rd round or whatever. But my thing is it for me, they had to go QB. If they're going to go QB round 1, I think they've been stuck the whole while having to go either wide receiver, tight end, round 2. Could have got a guard in the 3rd. But my question is to you guys is why would you leak the information out so early? Because it wasn't a coincidence that Rossini was in Nashville, right? He wasn't here to cover a guard. So my question to you guys is why would it leak out, and is it going to hurt this leadership down the road?
That's a great question. So let's get into that because
and first of all, I want to say, LD, I was just about to shout out LD because I think LD brought it up yesterday, right?
Yeah.
First on our text line about, interesting that Rossini has decided to come here.
Right. And to his point, she was not coming here because ESPN was like, hey, you know what? Titans might go with Peter Skoronski. So make sure that you're ready to be breaking that down as soon as they do that.
More Skoronski!
Yeah. So I mean, I think we know why she was here because of the speculation that they might go quarterback. So
and the speculation and someone telling her they're going to
go quarterback. So what do you make of that? The idea of the Titans' interest in C.J. Stroud kind of leaking out there yesterday, and then consequently the draft playing out the way that it did, and Houston going Stroud at 2, basically eliminating Arizona's other trade partner at 3. And then moving back up and getting Will Anderson.
Well, first of all, I also need to shout out Jared. Although there are people on the text line that were very upset with how he behaved himself last night. I need to listen to this now. I'm sure it was. Did you? Were you?
I'm clipping up some stuff.
Did you go? Did you go?
I was of our TV streaming.
Okay.
So I knew that Jared would like flail his arms, and I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be a good one.
Here we go. So, but I'm shouting out Jared because with Rossini, like LD called it yesterday, but Jared actually had, Jared must listen to every single show. It's incredible. But he actually had the audio on their show yesterday of her saying on Wake Up that she's going with the Colts. Like, so you're going to be with the Colts. Yeah, I'm going to be with the Colts. She said that on Get Up on Friday.
Yeah.
So, like, it's on the record. She's going there, and then something changes her to come here. There's no way she's coming here. To LD's point, it's obvious if they're not doing something. And it's a great question by LD. Look, I'll recite this tweet from Rossini last night, which she deleted. Quote, the Houston Texans just made a wild move. The Titans were fighting to get to 3, but once Houston picked C.J. Stroud at 2, the Titans pulled their offer with Arizona, end quote. Deletes the tweet.
So why are you deleting the tweet?
I'm thinking that someone who told her that information told her, delete the freaking tweet. But the problem is it makes it look worse.
Yeah, way worse.
So it's a good question, LD. I don't know. I guess there was – if it's as simple as this, first of all, it's like a bad plot to like Draft Day Part 2.
Right.
Okay? Like seriously. Like it's a bad script. Was there just certainty that the Texans were out on Stroud? Just you felt that was all. Again, if John McClain's out here saying they're out on him, and we had Charles on here talking about how the Texans had this plan. They weren't, basically it involved not taking the quarterback 2, but involved moving 12, using 12 to move back up to get a quarterback who they thought would drop. If you have that certainty, you're not worried about it being out there. But it wasn't just her. Again, first of all, on Dana Rossini, I don't think she did anything wrong here. She's told information. She reports the information.
Right.
But it was almost, and again, if you go through all the last few days, it's like, I'm told this. Now this is totally different than this. I'm told this is totally, it's like, whiplash. But also there were a lot of people yesterday all of a sudden talking about Florio. You had Rappaport talking about the Titans and Stroud. It got out there, right? So why was it important? Why did it need to get out there?
That's the question. It's why did it need to get out there? Jim on the text line says it's absurd to think the Titans leaking the interest in Stroud somehow changed the Texans' draft plans. NFL teams don't function that way.
God, man. I
don't think so, man.
I understand what you're saying, but
we had Charles on our show yesterday kind of walk through this before this all happened in terms of, could the Texans draft Will Anderson at number 2 and then use number 12 to move back up and get a quarterback? And he even said yesterday on the show, well, that if you're doing that and moving back up, the team that you're competing with at that point is the Titans to go back and do that with. So, if the Titans are all over C.J. Stroud out there, if you're in that draft room, it's like, well, we want C.J. Stroud and we want Will Anderson anyway. So why not just take Stroud first, take Tennessee's interest away after they've made it clear that that's who they want, and then move back up to go get Will Anderson? I think it absolutely could have had an effect.
Let me read Charles's tweet about the Texans doing what they did. Quote, and I wrote this in my column too. My column's basically just me writing a bunch of tweets. It's great. You don't have to come up with your own thoughts. Quote, why is this legendary? Because the Texans eliminated their competition for the Cardinals pick by selecting the QB at 2 that the Titans wanted to trade up for. That left the Texans as the lone trade partner for 3. Ninja move, end quote. That's Charles on what the Texans did last night. The Houston Texans, a brilliant, competent organization in the NFL, folks. Congratulations.
Well, even last night, Jacksonville kept trading down and acquiring more picks. I was like, what is this? Jacksonville's well run now? What are we doing?
What is happening in this AFC South?
Texans and the Jags just making good moves. Now, again, I think this was brilliantly handled by the Texans to get the 2 guys that they want. There's a difference between that and then C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson both being great.
Yes. I agree.
And I don't know whether or not they're going to be that, but I thought the way they handled the draft last night was pretty darn good.
So I think a lot of people are going to say today, nah, that's just stupid. They changed their mind. I hear you. Look at all the information. And I can tell you right now, a lot of people in the NFL believe that's what happened.
Yep.
And you're going to see more to that effect. But it could end up being something that saves the Titans from themselves.
Right. Like if C.J. Stroud is an absolute disaster.
And he won't be a disaster, right?
I mean, I don't think so.
But is he going to be?
Is he going to be worth number two overall?
Pick? Like, is he going to be better than like Mariota at number 2 overall? It's probably going to be something in that range. Oh, of course you think so.
Yeah, he'll be better than Marcus.
Okay.
615.
Mark it down. You just said it on record.
I did. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. A whole lot more to get to on the NFL draft. We got a lot of your texts to get to as well. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025-1063 The Game.
Want to jump into the mind of a 15-year NFL vet? Well, here's your chance. It's Ask D-Mace.
Come on, bring them on.
Ask questions on football and life to Derek Mason every Friday at 12:30 on Ask D-Mace.
Don't mess with her. The skilled guy. Money reigns supreme.
On Caroline, Willie, and on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
When you hear it, you know the Steve Miller Band. I'm a smoker. This Sunday, First Bank Amphitheater, Franklin, Tennessee. With special guest, Mavis Staples. On sale now at livenation.com. For more info and tour dates, visit stevemillerband.com, part of the Farm Bureau Insurance Concert Series.
Imagine her delight when she unwraps a luxurious spa day from A Moment's Peace, the newly remodeled day spa and salon in Cool Springs. Whether you spend a little or go lavish, you can take comfort that your gift will be treasured, your love on display and a smile on her face. What a thoughtful romantic you are. Give affordable luxury from A Moment's Peace for mums, dads, and grads in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall at the intersection of Carruthers Parkway and Bakersbridge Avenue. Call 224-0770 or click online anytime at momentspeace.com.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Which means, wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
A show that lives and breathes sports.
Focus in.
From the SEC.
Credit to the Alabamas, the Georgias, and the Ohio States of the world.
To the Preds.
They've been in a lot of really tight games, but they're not winning enough of them.
To the Titans.
He's talking about what this franchise has built over the years.
Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace.
What is this? Check it out.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Yeah, it's the ups and downs. Accuracy comes and goes, but you can't teach, you can't coach the kind of physical and athletic talent, that rocket arm, that incredible running skills that he brings to the table. He's the ultimate developmental quarterback. He needs time.
Oh, my God. Can you get Mel Kiper out of my ear? Thank you. Oh, my God.
Tell us how you feel.
This is how I feel. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
Yes. Titans-Bengals playoffs 2 years ago. Tannehill throws the interception to start the game. I turn around and I kick the chair. And I am more mad now than I was then. When Evan McPherson made that field goal for Cincinnati and that ball went through the uprights and I just walked out. I was at the game with my friends. I didn't even say goodbye. I just walked right out. And all I could say the rest of the night was, I hate the Titans. And it's because of stuff like this that I hate the Tennessee Titans. Congratulations to the Indianapolis Colts. Manning, Luck, Richardson.
Boy, we're taking a leap there, man.
Oh, my God. He just said Manning, Luck, Richardson. Oh.
Maybe he's right.
I'm trying to figure out, like, what would be funnier? Him being right or him being wrong, you know? Like if
I don't know. That's a great question.
I mean, if he's right, then the meltdowns are just going to be amazing.
Man, he really wanted him some Anthony Richardson, didn't he?
I mean,
he wanted it bad.
Talk about someone talking themselves into somebody.
This needs to be in the new Rex rap. Manning, Luck, Richardson.
Oh, that's a good point. Throw that one into, yeah. And sorry on the text line real quick.
Yeah,
by WilsonCounty.com about a bunch of my texts are not going through. Somebody asked who the Titans backup is. Malik Willis. I mean, I've tried to send this text 5 times.
We got a lot of texts rolling in, and it's I don't know what's going on with our responses, but we got a lot of texts rolling in. We appreciate it. Keep them coming.
Yeah, so real quick, I'll answer some verbally. Basically, why not move up for a QB? I said, again, they wanted to. They were foiled, and we're going to end up finding out if that matters. Now, Jim from Springfield, on the whole interest in changing the Texans' plan, says, I stand corrected. It probably affected when they took Stroud. I don't think it changed who they wanted. And I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And again, now another asset we haven't talked about yet with the whole Stroud following thing is like the S2 and all that. And
number 2 overall.
Right. But who leaked that and why?
Exactly.
And who would have? And who would Bob McGinn talk to? And that's interesting, too.
Well, and the Houston doesn't have the scores because they don't pay for it.
Right. But the Titans do.
Titans do.
Sure do.
They sure do. But he goes number 2 overall. So, yeah, a lot of people, I'm seeing it in comments, they were always going to take him number 2 overall. I don't think that's accurate. But you can talk yourself into anything right now. You can spin it however you want today.
Tony on the text line says, I know clearly Houston outplayed us last night, but my question is, did the Titans do something that caused it or makes Rand and the organization look like they failed? This is from Tony on the text line. Well, we don't know for sure, but when we've talked about like the leaks, right? Like where are those coming from and why are those happening? And did that cost you C.J. Stroud last night? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know either. I know that there was a lot of, I think, legitimate talk coming out of Houston, including from 2 people we've cited, John McClain and Charles Robinson, that they were not going to take him at 2.
Right.
And they're not alone. I mean, Adam Schefter, say what you want about Adam Schefter, he was like betting people on the air. I'll bet you anything they're not taking a quarterback at 2.
Right.
So maybe the Texans did an incredible job of lying through their teeth to all these people. They were going to do it all along. That's a little much for me to believe.
Yeah, and now here we sit, and Stroud's in Houston, Richardson is in Indy, and the Titans don't have a quarterback. And I brought this up earlier. They also had a chance to take a quarterback. I mean, we've talked about Will Levis. They had a top 30 visit with Will Levis. We asked yesterday, and you two certainly weren't alone, who the Titans picks were going to be. Both of y'all said Levis. Reading through Jim Wyatt's mock draft, or I don't know if mock draft is the right word.
All of us guessing.
Like he had like 120 people on there. I didn't tally it up, but Will Levis was a very popular pick on Jim Wyatt's
14
little thing too. So, he was there. Like if the Titans wanted him, and they thought Will Levis was going to be their quarterback, he was there, and they didn't take him. Now, neither did anybody else in the first round. So that's going to make things very interesting today with him and Hooker still on the board. But, to me, somebody asked, we had a lot of people ask, could the Titans take Levis today? I mean, I guess they could, but if you wanted Levis, why would you just not take him yesterday? I don't think they're taking Levis.
I would guess not either. Again, it's like with either of these guys, And think about with Hooker, this is why Hooker, I think, made more sense in terms of somebody come up to get him. That extra year with a guy, with an ACL now, not that Levis should play this year either, but yeah, it is. It's basically taking a flyer on a QB at this point, which they just did last year. It was the third round, but to me, they charted the course for have the best team next year you can have.
Yeah.
If you take Levis now or Hooker, then hey, it could work out for you. It's good value, but it would just be weird.
I mean, it would the backup quarterback question to me is still legitimate. Like, yes, right as of this moment, Malik Willis is the backup quarterback. I mean, is that the smart way to go moving forward? Now, to me, you're not drafting Will Levis or Hendon Hooker to be your backup quarterback next year. Like, you're drafting them to be the quarterback of the future.
They might be
the backup next year.
Right. That's not. Yeah, it's not. Okay. Yeah, it's not thinking about QB2. Here, I have a question. Quote on the text line. I have a question. Was it weird they did the press conference so early when the draft was still going on? It feels like a big portion of Rand's job. Take calls from other GMs. Was unavailable for last night drafts because they decided to do the press conference early. I will say, end quote. First of all, I think that kind of goes to what we're talking about. As soon as they did that, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess they're not trading up then.
Yeah.
I guess they have no interest in a Levis or a Hooker when they did as far as the responsibility or whatever, everybody has their phone on them. If someone was urgently calling Rand, he could have left the presser. But that did tell me, okay, well, they just don't have interest in Levis or Hooker.
Well, Levis for sure. I agree. They don't have interest in Levis or Hooker just because if you did, why not hang around and see how the draft unfolds and then maybe trade back up that way? But when they passed on Levis at 11, that told me that they're not trading back up. Why would you trade back up to go get him at that point if he was right there for you at 11?
Well, yeah, unless you're gambling and you're like, okay, I feel like no one likes him and we can get him at 25.
I guess, but that position, I just never really buy into gambling at that position. Other places, sure. If you want to do that with a wide receiver or a corner or whatever, that's fine. I don't think that gambling with the quarterback happens a whole lot in the NFL draft. That's just the way I view it.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So where's he going today?
I don't know. Are people moving up? Who's got 32?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's got 32.
Yep.
Is someone jumping up? Or
maybe
is the free fall continuing?
That's a great question.
I really believe that Levis it's the most surprising fall that I can think of this far. Again, everyone thinks he was a top half of the draft talent. Now, again, when I say everyone being all the analysts, which again, the analysts are not the people who work for the teams, but they do talk to them.
Yeah, but if it was, I understand the bad interview part, right? So he didn't there was reports that he didn't impress people with interviews, so I get that. But wouldn't it take even a little bit more than that? At a certain point in the first round, if you thought that he had the traits to be a really good NFL quarterback, wouldn't you kind of get over that at some point in the first round where it's it's pick 27. Let's trade back up, see if we can get this fifth-year option. And maybe people tried, and the people in the back part of the draft were like, no thanks, we Cincinnati's like, no, we'd rather pick at 28. We'll do that.
The Eagles are like, you know what? Yeah, we'll take Nolan Smith at 30.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Get Jalen Carter at 9 and Nolan Smith at 30. Now, look, we've talked about Jalen Carter, and there are some concerns there, but he may be the best football player in the draft. And then there's Nolan Smith coming off the edge now, too. He's got 4 guys that started on that 21 Georgia defense now all playing together in Philly.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Let me quickly read Kenston. One thing the draft continues to confirm, all these people with all these sources are full of crap. That's not true, Kenston. This move corrects 2 things that were assumed by people about the Titans. 1, they aren't rebuilding. 2, they are higher on Malik than what the media thinks.
I don't know that I buy that either.
Yeah, I don't know, Kenston. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, I guess the not rebuilding, that really depends on what your definition of a rebuild is. Yes, they're not tearing it down totally, obviously.
For sure.
Now, I don't think anything that transpired yesterday has anything to do with Malik Willis. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the next starting quarterback. So if you think right now the Titans think Malik Willis is their next starting quarterback, I don't think so. Now, are they 100% out on that? I'm not saying that either, but I think you're taking quite a leap there.
615-737-1025. Weston, hang with us on our phone line. We'll get to you coming up next as well. More of your thoughts on the NFL draft. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
All the big plays.
Tannehill, entering right up the middle. Touchdown, Tennessee.
All the big stories.
The Titans' window to contend is however long Derrick Henry stays Derrick Henry.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Gets it back and scores.
Our execution was good.
They have not found their groove.
It's always great to win in this league. It's tough to win.
The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Michelle Knesvik here for Superbook Sports. Baseball's back and the push for the postseason is on for hockey and hoops. Throughout the draft last night, we had a lot of good hockey and hoops games. The Celtics were finally able to close it out, so make it all count this spring with Superbook Sports. We got the Warriors and the Sacramento Kings tonight. The Warriors are a 7-point favorite. I'm going to take the Kings plus the 7, but I do think that the Warriors close it out tonight. We've also got the Memphis Grizzlies trying to stay alive against the LA Lakers tonight. The Lakers are a 4.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Memphis plus the 4.5. I also think Memphis wins plus 175 on the money line tonight. So, Superbook Sports is the best wagering app around with a direct line to experienced bookmakers behind the counter in Las Vegas. Plus, you can get a $250 bonus when you sign up, deposit, and wager all in the same day. So you can get that all done today. You can get a $250 bonus and use it on a bunch of the games this weekend. So don't let the spring pass you by without winning some money with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with your family with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
Family Leisure has 40 spas on display from 3 of the biggest brand names: Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select. Prices starting as low as $29.99.
What about above ground pools?
Family Leisure has hundreds of pools in stock and on sale. Guaranteed installation before Memorial Day, starting as low as $29.99. Installed.
Wow, that's great.
If you're looking at a spa, I want some new patio furniture. Family Leisure has patio furniture from all the big brand names like Hannemint, Woodard, Jensen, and Apricity. There's more than 100 sets on display to choose from with free delivery.
That sounds good to me too. And maybe a new Sabre infrared grill to go with it.
We really should look at the wood play gym for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. It's Family Leisure's vacation at home sale going on now at both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Family and fun come together.
Want to enter the construction field as a career? Make good money and finish with no debt and earn while you learn. Average starting salary over $18 an hour. First year of college averages $10,000. 4 years of our Construction Trades Academy, a total of $800 to $9,600. Applications are open with first-year scholarships available. CTANash.com. ABC Greater Tennessee Construction Trades Academy. Apply today. CTANash.com.
The Beach Boys. Live in concert. May 25th, 26th, and 27th at Schermerhorn Symphony Center. Performing with the Nashville Symphony. The Beach Boys return to the stage. Tickets on sale now at NashvilleSymphony.org. Don't miss the Beach Boys live with the Nashville Symphony.
Green Trees Company Dispensary and 102.5 The Game want to send you to see the legendary Steve Miller Band live April 30th at First Bank Amphitheater. Keep listening to Nashville's best sports talk all week long for your cue to call to win tickets to see Steve Miller Band, courtesy of Green Trees Company Dispensary.
Now, your Game Center update.
I'm Michelle Knesvik. The Tennessee Titans made their first-round draft pick and selected offensive lineman from Northwestern, Peter Skoronski. Here was Rand Carthon after the pick.
Well, I think the thing about Peter and what Mike was saying is his versatility. And when he grabs people, for the most part, they stop, when he gets his hands on guys. So, whatever his length is his length, but he played at a high productive level using that same length to stop people. And again, it's another way for us to add not only a good football player, but a good person. You know, he's a consummate pro even in college, you know, the way he carried himself. And, you know, he just made it a comfortable and easy pick for us to pull off the board.
Lamar Jackson got his deal done with the Ravens, 5 years, $260 million, and $185 million guaranteed. Back in action tonight for the NBA. The Kings and the Warriors tip off at 7 p.m. The Warriors looking to close the series, and the Grizzlies trying to stay alive against the Lakers in Game 6, 9:30 tip-off. This report is presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. I'm Michelle Knezovic for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 102.5 The Game or visit theGameNashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robby and Rexrode. Chase and Michelle.
Caroline, Willie, D-Base.
Stoney Company.
Nashville's best sports talk.
Crank it up.
102.5 and 106.3.
Cranks it, he scores.
On both sides of the one big possession.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun.
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime.
Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Friday morning discussing the NFL Draft. The Titans select Peter Skoronski last night with the number 11 overall pick, the offensive lineman out of Northwestern. So that was the pick last night for the Tennessee Titans. Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Weston. Weston, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Couple things here real quick just to get to it. I told somebody yesterday, one of my coworkers, I was like, if the Titans don't get C.J. Stroud, then there still is that possibility of they're building everything up to trade Tannehill to San Francisco in exchange for Trey Lance. There is still that possibility. Do I think it's going to happen? I'm starting to lean more towards that because of the Carthon connection. And if not, I do believe Hendon Hooker would be the best fit for the Titans in the second round. So I'm interested to see where it goes and kind of looking forward to it.
Yep. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Weston. I mean, I hear the Trey Lance stuff. I don't think that's happening for the Titans. I just don't. I mean, I think, look, I think, and maybe we're just reading too much into it, but I think what happened yesterday was pretty clear. I think they really liked C.J. Stroud, and the Texans took him. And that was who they wanted at quarterback, and they didn't get him. And now I think it's going to be Tannehill. I think Tannehill's going to be their guy next year. Like I think, you know, Charles said it yesterday with us. The Tannehill stuff to me was real. Like he said, you don't go, you know, checking around with other teams about their interest level in Tannehill and saying Tannehill could be available if there's not a scenario where you may not move him. So who knows? I mean, maybe that scenario is Trey Lance. Maybe that's something they pivot to. But I think it's pretty clear. Like, I think they wanted C.J. Stroud. I think also if they took C.J. Stroud, he's probably playing immediately, and they didn't get him. So I think Tannehill's going to be the quarterback next year.
Yeah, and the Niners just the Niners, it doesn't always happen this way. Sometimes people say things at press conferences and they turn out very differently. But the Niners kind of threw cold water on the Lance move, and hey, maybe that's because the market was so soft there. But also with Purdy hurt and everything, I think you can make the case for why they would hold on to him this year. The case to move him is what Charles mentioned to us, which is like just get rid of that mistake and kind of move forward. But I'd be surprised. The Hooker thing with the Titans, at least like the difference, like you said, Levis. I think Levis is clearly a fall.
Yes.
Hooker. The Titans may believe and have believed all along that they could get Hooker in the second round. So I suppose it's possible, but it's again, I just feel like if you really liked him, then don't you try to move in and get the fifth-year option?
Look, Levis.
We don't know what calls were or weren't made on him.
Levis obviously he's going to end up somewhere, and I would assume he's going to be somewhere in the second round. I would assume Hooker the same way.
Is he the UDFA? Is Stetson Bennett actually going to go ahead of Will Levis?
Stetson Bennett's going to be the number 4 quarterback taken in the draft. I mean, look, those two guys are going to go somewhere, I would assume, in the second round. So, I mean, look, that's a prominent pick. It's not a first rounder. That Will Levis was maybe expected to go top 5. I mean, Music City Bets just sent the draft slip from FanDuel our way, and the Titans, along with the Rams, the co-favorites to draft Will Levis today. So at plus 450 odds.
Yeah,
but that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I almost need this to be. It should be its own rant. You know what I'm sick of?
FanDuel.
Vegas knows. Yeah. Vegas knows.
Tell them, Joe. Tell them.
Vegas doesn't know a damn thing. Sometimes they know, but they set odds to get betting on both sides of something. Vegas frickin' reacted to some idiot on Reddit saying that Levis's family and friends told him that he was gonna. The Panthers told him he was gonna go 1 overall. Vegas knows.
By the way,
Wait,
it's still
stop
awesome.
it.
Did you see Colin Cowherd's tweet? He said,
No.
"I just saw this on Reddit. The Chiefs are trading up to get Will Levis."
That'd be a smart.
So
move.
he was kidding. He was making a joke about Reddit.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I mean, with that guy, I don't know. He's like Stillman's hero in life. Okay, that's good.
Yes, that was a joke.
Good
I
joke,
need to
Colin.
make that very clear.
I mean, Coward's had some takes.
Yeah,
But then haven't we all?
We've all had
Skiatika.
Yeah. Will Levis mock draft moving up to 6 to get Will Levis.
But my point in
Good mock
that is, like, somebody's going to take them in the second round, and that's still a prominent pick that you hope. I mean, if you're taking somebody in the second round, aren't you hoping that they're going to be your starter at some point? I mean,
yes.
So, I mean, somebody passed on Will Levis yesterday that's going to take him today. I guess unless it's the Rams or somebody didn't have a first-round pick.
It's a really interesting situation, and I know some of the text was like, "What do you guys have money on Levis? Why do you keep talking about him?" But it does relate to the Titans right now, and just it's.
Oh, we keep talking about him because it's the story of the draft yesterday, man. He slid out of the first round,
right? But it also it relates locally, obviously, because one, my excellent detective skills had the Titans, targeting him, but also, like you said, it's like did all the teams know that everybody had him graded way lower than all the analysts claim they did? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where, in this day and age, like something like this was a lot more likely before this became so saturated with reporting and just going through every little thing about every prospect.
Well, that's why I continue to go back to, like, how much of this is the interviews, which apparently, according to some reports, didn't go overly well. And how much of this is teams looking around at the tape and saying, you know what? The guy just turns the ball over too much. I'm not spending a first-round pick on him. Like, I've been saying that for 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't take him.
You're not alone. I mean,
so, like, how
Teresa
much,
Walker's in that draft room last night. Like, what are you talking about, Will Levis?
Like, how much of it is teams looking around saying, I just can't do it. Like, I can't do that in the first round. I don't know. Maybe, the real answer is probably a combination of the two to some degree. But I don't know that I can buy that, like, the interviews were that bad that teams believe that he could be a franchise quarterback. They're like, no, he didn't interview well. Like, you know how much, like, you know how bad the interviews would have had to go? Like, if that was it? Like, what'd he do in there?
Yeah, I don't know. We know he has weird eating habits. I don't know. It's a good point, but it's also, okay, so again, I mean, I had Levis 5th of these 5 quarterbacks. I had Richardson 4th.
Yeah.
Now, Richardson certainly has a higher ceiling, but there is also you can find some great performances from Will Levis in college, too, especially with Liam Cohen as his OC last year when he had an offensive line and he had Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, does Richardson have a higher ceiling than Levis? Yes, but Levis has high-level athleticism, size, huge arm, all these things.
That's what I'm saying. So
I know, but one guy's traits are certainly better, but that's the 4 overall pick.
Right.
Who our coworker here is crying about all day long for years.
Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Anthony Richardson.
God, that's an absolute.
What a trio!
What a take.
Add Jim Irsay to that.
Thank you so much, Jared, for that one. Manning, Luck, Richardson.
Also, Jim Irsay. I don't know if you guys saw the video. He looked very tan last night.
He typically does.
I did not see it.
He looked like an old Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, maybe so.
Interesting. Yeah, but again, it's like this guy, number 4 overall, this guy, who knows where he'll go? It's Pretty wild.
We'll take more of your thoughts on the Titans and the NFL Draft. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:30. Join Robby and Rexrode for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Laying waste to your town. Mastodon. Gojira. The Mega Monsters Tour. May 2nd at Nashville Municipal Auditorium. With special guest, Lord Ashore. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Total sensory overload. Mastodon and Gojira.
Baseball fans, your home for the best baseball action is 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan with the ESPN Game of the Week and the Nashville Sounds. It's all brought to you by Superbook Sports, the #1 sports book in Vegas. Download the Superbook app today.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to move? If so, do yourself a favor and reach out to my friends at TriStar Moving. You can be assured your move will be stress-free because they've got new utility vans to help with pack jobs to separate your high-value or fragile items from the bulk of your furniture, and their movers are carefully picked and highly trained. No one in the game is doing this. TriStar Moving is raising the standard in the moving industry. When you're ready to move, give them a call. TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or online at nationalmoving.org/radio, and tell them Jared Stillman referred you for 10% off. That's TriStar Moving.
This week's Nashville's best deal is Bite-A-Bit Thai and Sushi in the heart of East Nashville. Get half off a $30 gift card while supplies last at thegamenashville.com/deals. Featuring all the best Thai food, sushi, and cocktails, plus an amazing bar and environment. You can eat a bit and bite a bit with this week's half-off deal. Check out biteabitnashville.com. That's Bite-A-Bit in East Nashville. Half off at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Anyone want to tell me what happened?
Did you miss any of today's show?
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Subscribe to the Robby and Rexrode podcast on Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms, or by going to thegamenashville.com.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Join 102.5 The Game for the 2nd annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament presented by Gary Force Acura, benefiting Souls for Souls, coming up on June the 7th at Hermitage Golf Course. You can put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs to support a great cause and have loads of fun. Plus, you'll have the chance to win awesome prizes. You can sign up to play, sponsor, or donate at thegamenashville.com/golf. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, live from our 102.5 The Game studio, sponsored by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. Discussing the NFL Draft, the Titans taking Peter Skoronski, the offensive lineman out of Northwestern, with their number 11 overall pick. Anthony Richardson going number 4 to the Colts. C.J. Stroud, number 2 to the Houston Texans. Obviously, Bryce Young going number 1 to the Panthers at that point as well. Got a question earlier. What was the most surprising pick in your mind of the first round last night? I mean, mine's got to be Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, right? Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, or Jack Campbell at 18. Either one.
The Lions really, boy, they kind of went Mike Mayock on this whole thing.
They did. I mean, look,
I like Jahmyr Gibbs, but
there are a few surprises. Like the fact that Christian Gonzalez slid all the way down to 17 when the Patriots traded back and were still able to get him. I thought that was
pretty crafty,
a great
Belichick,
pick by the Patriots.
But I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba going down at 20.
20, yeah.
That was a little bit of a surprise. Lucas Van Ness going up at 13.
Quentin Johnston ended up being a first-round pick after all that noise.
I mean, just the absolute receiver run from 20 to 23. So, But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the Lions. God.
They also just got David Montgomery.
Yeah, and they have
they have DeAndre Swift.
Yeah,
I'm listening. Hey,
look, don't get me wrong. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is really good. I think he's going to be a good NFL player. But when they took him at 12 last night, I was like, really? At 12, you're taking Jahmyr Gibbs? You know those ESPN analytics we threw out there earlier of a 0.01 chance or whatever it was that Will Levis would still be there? They ran the numbers. It was like a 94% chance that Jahmyr Gibbs would have still been there at 18 had the Lions just hung on, and a 99% chance that Jack Campbell would have been there like pick 34 in their second-round pick. Like, all right, there we go.
Again, keep picking the Lions to do good things. The Lions, it doesn't matter because I think Brad Holmes has been good as their GM so far. But I tell you what, you go to the Lions franchise, and eventually what happens? You get lionized, and it appears he's getting lionized.
Michael on the text line says, I'm very happy with the first round for the simple reason that we did not trade away any picks. We still have the rest of the draft and the first round next year to look forward to. That is the silver lining in all this. You did not give up any picks in the future if you're the Titans.
Listen, here's the thing. The Titans clearly, okay, in my mind, in my opinion, and I think there's a lot of evidence to support this, clearly like Stroud and were willing to move up, okay? And so if they had done it, if they pulled it off and it had gone as intended, then they would have got him at 3. They would have given up a lot. Actually, what is the exact haul? Do you have it in front of you? That
I can pull it up.
I mean, obviously the Cardinals, it can be a little bit different because the Cardinals moved down an extra spot than they would have with the Titans pick. They would have given up a haul, and they would have had C.J. Stroud today. And go ahead.
Houston gave up pick 12, 33 in this year's draft, along with a first-rounder next year and a third-rounder next year as well.
Yeah. So you're talking about the Titans, no first-round pick next year. You know, another premium pick next year gone. Another one this year, along with, obviously the swapping the first-rounders. Well, the team that badly needs quantity and quality and needs help in various spots for a guy who, in my opinion, is going to be a good quarterback. So, I think that they're going to end up down the road. We're going to look back and say, yeah, it worked out better for them that this didn't happen. Now, obviously, if C.J. Stroud becomes a superstar with the Houston Texans, and this turns into this draft where it's like Stroud and Anderson and their perennial Pro Bowlers and Super Bowls, then it'll be looked back on as a terrible night. But on draft night itself, it's an L.
Well, and the other part of this is Skoronski, right? I mean, look, we talked about him earlier, but he very well could go on to be, an 8-10-year starter at offensive line and play really well for the Titans. That he could end up being a great pick. Look, I think the one thing that I buy into last night for the Titans, we've talked about the Stroud thing. I think that's who they wanted. I do think that they were happy with Skoronski ending up there. Like I think
I agree.
I believe Rand Carthon when he says that they didn't expect him to be there at that time. So look, Skoronski could end up being a great pick, be that at left tackle or left guard or wherever he ends up playing. It's just I think there's clearly a path where they could have gotten C.J. Stroud yesterday.
Right, and I think Skoronski, a lot of people did think he was going to go inside the top 10. The Titans didn't have him on a visit. I mean, basically, they talked to him at the Combine, and then they sent the O-line coach up to his pro day. Just the O-line coach, according to – so, I mean, that is one of two things. It's either you don't have a ton of interest or you just don't think you're going to be able to take him. I do think you're right that once he was there for them, it was kind of a pleasant surprise. Like, okay, well, you can save it with this pick. You know? Like, again, people are not like, yes, Peter Skoronski. Like, we've been joking about it for weeks. Oh, yeah, they'll end up taking Peter Skoronski. He's a very good football player.
Yeah, for sure. Jason from Mount Juliet says, Darnell Wright going in the top 10 was surprising.
Yeah.
UT is back, LOL. This from Jason from Mount Juliet on the text line.
I would agree with that. That's a little bit of a surprise. The Bears obviously, need offensive linemen, but yeah, I mean, actually, a lot of people actually had Skoronski going to them.
Well, Paris Johnson going as high as he did. Paris Johnson was quick off the board there to the Cardinals. So
there's another one. Again, a lot of people had Skoronski, certainly in front of Darnell Wright in the mock drafts. And let's take all the mock drafts and just put them in a
Just
pile.
take
and
those things
light
and
the match.
Chuck them right in the middle of the trash can.
I had some beauties.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Adam from Portland. Adam, good morning.
Hey, Robbie. Hey, Joe. Hey, Miss Michelle, I'm sorry your boy is still sitting in there by himself. That sucks.
Are you a Hendon Hooker fan? He's with them. They're both heading in the second round.
Yeah, but Hendon's all broken, and, it's a miracle that he's even one of the top quarterbacks. So, no big deal. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, this is amazing what happened last night. Like, I love the pick, and I guess everybody's disappointed we didn't leverage, 2-3 years worth of assets for one unproven loser quarterback. But I'm not. Like, this is good. This is that dude's a monster. And I'm pretty sure he was the best offensive lineman in the draft, and it's like generational. His granddaddy was a stud. I like the pick. He just seemed like a nice guy who is just a big dumb football player, and I love that. And I'm hoping he makes our whole line better. And I think that's what I've been saying all along, man. When the season ended, I'm like, can we please get a real lineman? Dennis Daly. Oh my God, I'm tired of this. Let's get a real lineman. So I love the pick.
Hey, thanks for the call, Adam. I mean, look, Adam's not alone there. I mean, we've heard from a lot of people today that love the Skoronski pick on the text line.
Yeah, no, at the spot, I think it's fine. The premium position thing, I buy into that to some extent, but look, it just really comes down to it's a sliding scale of performance. I mean, again, people are throwing around Zach Martin and people throwing around Brandon Scherf.
Well, if he's that, I really love the pick.
Right. I mean, if he's that, now are we maybe inflating expectations a little bit on that? Yeah.
Could be.
I mean, I think if he becomes a long-term starter and a good player, then it's not quite the value you'd want at 11, I would say. I'd say at 11 for an interior offensive lineman, and again, we're just assuming that maybe he is a left tackle. I don't know. I mean, Glennon's asking about his arms last night. I'm like, T-Rex? I was like, was he able to feed himself the pizza slice with his tiny arms, Glennon? Glennon's like, how do you respond to people who talk about your arms? It's like, how did you overcome your tiny arms, Peter? I don't know why I decided to
the draft, man. When we start talking about arm length and hand size, I'm like, oh, God, can we just please get through this?
It's amazing. But, no, I think he's a good football player, and I do think that if he's going to be an interior offensive lineman, that you took at 11, he needs to be one of the best.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he needs to be one of the best interior offensive linemen in the NFL.
Yeah, no question. Now, if he's a tackle, first off, if he's the tackle, what does that mean for guard this year? Like, is Dillard the guard?
I think so.
I mean, because it kind of feels like, they got their offensive line set last night. Like, it's in some combination, Dillard, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, and Petit Frere. Like, that's going to be the starting offensive line is what it feels like.
I would think so. They could draft more.
Yep.
And add to the competition. You never know. You take I was about to say a fourth-round pick. They don't have that. But you could take someone in the third round who could shake things up further. And it's not bad to have more quality depth there. But I think you're right. I think right now I'd be willing to bet those 5 names are in the starting lineup opening day.
I would not hate it if the 2 picks tonight for the Titans both were at wide receiver. That would be nice.
I like the Darnell. Someone on the text I mentioned Darnell Washington.
I need him to go somewhere else.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, you went with the Packers?
Yeah, I need him to go somewhere else. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. More of your thoughts on the NFL draft coming up next on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Make sure you don't miss Nashville's best NFL draft coverage on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Join Caroline Fenton, Derek Mason, and Chris Sanders on location tonight as they broadcast live for day 2 of the draft. They'll be out at the Inglewood Wingstop, located at 3300 Gallatin Pike, where flavor gets its wings. The first 100 people to stop by during the draft will receive a coupon for 5 free boneless wings for their next visit. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
The NFL offseason is in full swing, but you'll never miss any of the big news. thanks to Yahoo's Charles Robinson.
They know that there's a chance that they're going to have to deal this guy.
He's one of the best insiders there is.
All of a sudden, he becomes a functional player who we thought was just trash.
Join Charles Robinson every Thursday morning at 8 on Robby and Rexrode, presented by the NFL Alumni Association on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Trading in or selling your car, truck, or SUV? WeBuyAnyCar.com takes the hassle out of selling in 3 easy steps. 1. Get a free online valuation. 2. Drive to your local car buying center. And 3. Walk out with a check in about an hour. So don't wait. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
This is R.A. Dickey, and I'm proud to tell you about my friends at Smoky Mountain Tops. When my wife Ann and I needed new countertops for our kitchen, we called Smoky Mountain Tops. We wanted to make sure that we worked with a company dedicated to quality, craftsmanship, and customer service. And that's what we got with Smoky Mountain Tops. Go with the pros at Smoky Mountain Tops for any of your surfacing countertop needs. Located in Knoxville and Nashville. Visit SmokyMountainTops.com.
Along with being Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, Parman Tractor is your one-stop shop for professionals in the tree care and tree removal business. More bark brush chippers and Rayco stump grinders are industry-leading machines made for more to keep pace with you. And Parman's parts and service team will keep your machines running. Durability, efficiency, and trust. That's what you'll get with Moorbark and Rayco. And with Parman. Swing by Parman or visit ParmanTractor.com to learn more about Moorbark and Rayco. Parman Tractor's employee-owned team promises totally outrageous customer service.
Does this sound familiar? Did your agent provide excellent entertainment with their TikTok videos and constant social media posts about themselves while completely ignoring that you hired them to sell your home? Did they tell you how wonderful they were? How many followers they had? They probably never sold your home, but hey, they did get 15 likes on their selfies. Hashtag my clients love me. Don't let that happen to you. Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why the only likes we care about are our clients loving our service. Ask us about our prepay with TJ option and how it can save you thousands. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Office number 615-432-2919.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-283-5948. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-283-5948 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-283-5948 to see if you qualify. That's 800-283-5948.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Tonight, your Nashville Sounds continue their homestand at First Horizon Park against Omaha.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Sounds win.
Pre-game at 6:20.
On your home of Nashville Sounds baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey, Nashville, this is Dan Lebitard. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You can see it. His head is on the table. He's in disbelief. It's like he walked downstairs on Christmas Day,
got some rocks.
looked up underneath the Christmas tree, and he wanted that pair of Puma shoes, and he didn't get Pumas. He got Converse, Chuck Taylors, and now he's mad.
I got Picos. I got Picos.
He got some penny loafers. That's what he got.
I mean.
Hey, this is a classic.
Wow.
So what are the Titans going to do now? Tell us, Jared.
Who cares? Trevor Lawrence.
You need a minute?
He needs a hug. That's what he needs.
Who cares? Give up. Season's over.
That was Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason last night on our draft program. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Call TJ's team today to see why they're referred to so often. Taking your thoughts on the draft, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025 on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So the Titans take Peter Skoronski at number 11. They got pick number 41 coming up in the second round tonight. So where do they go from here, Joe Rexrode, with 41 and 72 coming up for the Titans overall as currently scheduled to pick? As you mentioned in the last segment, they do not have a fourth rounder at the moment in this draft. So where do you think the Titans go from here now that they have selected an offensive lineman and they've got pick number 41 coming up tonight?
I'm going to assume they had Stroud targeted. And by the way, let's give Teron Davenport another shout-out going all the way back to the Combine Indy when someone told him, C.J. Stroud was the guy they liked. I'm going to assume that they're out on the other quarterbacks, and they're not going to – last year, with that third-round pick, there are a lot of football players who could have helped that team last year. They didn't have any of those football players. They took Malik Willis to try to develop him. If they basically take a flyer on another quarterback here in the second round, I mean, first of all, I know it's a different GM anyway, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're going to try. I think they're trying to have the best possible team next year, and quarterback is going to have to be addressed at a later time. It won't be easy to address it. I don't know how they'll address it.
Don't either.
But you know what? The best quarterback play the Tennessee Titans have had since Steve McNair was acquired via fourth-round pick. So you just don't know how it's going to work out. I think they're going to go receiver or tight end at 41. I think it's a receiver or it's tight end.
I think so too. I think, well, first off, Michael Mayer is still on the board, so that's an intriguing name that's out there. Dalton Kincaid went last night out of Utah. I thought for sure when Dallas got up there that they were going to take Michael Mayer last night, and they did not take Michael Mayer, so he's still on the board heading into the second round there. I don't know that he's going to make it to 41, but if he does, that's an intriguing option for the Titans. In all seriousness, we brought up Darnell Washington out of Georgia. I think there's a chance he could be there at 41, and that's an intriguing option too. I know they've got Chig, and they need wide receivers. I get it. But, I mean, if they took Darnell Washington, I don't think that'd be a bad pick.
No.
Love that pick. Absolutely love that. Adam in Portland said it'd be ridiculous to take a tight end and yelled at me the other day, but Darnell Washington, a beast.
Are you still mad at Adam Portland because he took some shots at Will Levis at your expense?
I just think it's – I was on Twitter last night, and I was like, is it just me, or is it weird that so many people just love tweeting hate, Smile, he got left out of the first round, or everybody would take over him. I just think it's a weird thing of let's just is it just me, or?
Well, I think there is a lot of hate for Will Levis, and I think it's a little weird why it's so. I mean, look, a lot of people who think he stinks at quarterback.
That's fine.
I get that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a little weird, but social media is garbage.
I don't think personally against the kid. I just don't think he's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
no, right.
Fine.
But she's talking about people taking pleasure. And this is where, for all of those people who are Titans fans who were doing that on Titans Twitter, I actually need the Titans to take him at 41 now.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Fell to us. Woo. It's not going to happen.
What a story that would be. You get your offensive lineman and your quarterback. Maybe that was the plan the whole time.
I tell you.
They looked at it like some Titans fans did. Good Lord, we can't draft the quarterback here because he's going to die back there if we do. We got to go get the offensive lineman, and then you'll get the quarterback.
There you go. Now, if you take Darnell Washington after you took Peter Skoronski, you are mashing some people.
Oh, yeah. You got a
6-man offensive line.
A formidable group up there.
Yes.
Now,
I love Darnell Washington.
The other part of this is, they need receivers in a bad way.
Yeah.
And like you said, there was a run on receivers last night. Zay Flowers is gone. Quinn Johnston is gone. Obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigba is gone as well. So now the focus kind of starts to shift here in terms of, okay, what receivers are left on the board and who could the Titans be targeting there? I mean, we know at some point they're going to have to end up with a receiver or two in this draft. And Hyatt didn't go in the first round last night, and Cedric Tillman is still on the board as well. Could either one of those guys be an option at 41 when it rolls around? We'll see. But I also, could Hyatt – Pittsburgh's up at 33 right now. You got the Rams coming up, who that could be an interesting landing spot for Levis if nobody trades up to get him. So if the Titans are around at 41 – could a volunteer wide receiver be an option for them? I think that could be in play.
Yep. And I like Hyatt a lot. I'd love to see Hyatt succeed. I love the speed.
Yep.
But if I'm picking between those, it's easy for me. I'm picking Cedric Tillman.
Yep.
I like him a lot better as an NFL receiver than Jalen Hyatt.
We were, Packers group thread last night. We were discussing these options. And the Hyatt part of this, I kind of put it this way. Like, Hyatt is a big play guy who could make some massive plays in the NFL with his speed. I feel way better about Cedric Tillman not being a bust than I do Jalen Hyatt, if that makes any sense. Like, yep. I think that Cedric Tillman may not make as big of like a splash or like big plays that Jalen Hyatt makes in the NFL, but I think he's just solid, and I think he'll be a solid receiver for years in the NFL.
I think, I agree with that assessment. By the way, were you guys all giddy about Lucas Van Ness last night?
I wanted Nolan Smith, but yeah, Lucas Van Ness is fine. They need a pass rusher, so there you go. Played hockey, too.
Better peck than Jack Campbell, his teammate at Iowa. I'll tell you that much.
There is that. Oh, man. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Got a text asking about Michael Mayer. Do you like him at 41 if he's there? I mean, let's say if, like, I don't think this will happen, but if Mayer's there and Washington's there at 41, you taking a tight end for sure if you're the Titans there, just based on the way the board's falling?
I don't know what their board says. I thought their board had Will Levis somewhere on it. Apparently it doesn't. But I would have to think if that's the case, then it might be okay. Put the receiver back to the third round.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. But if it's not one of those two positions with 41, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, I mean they've. I did wonder yesterday, too, when Christian Gonzalez fell down and he did not get picked in the top 10. Part of me wondered if they would go there at 11. I'm glad they didn't, just because I like Christian Gonzalez as a player, but they needed offensive line help and receiver help and all that stuff. So I'm glad they didn't do it. But I did wonder, like, could Christian Gonzalez, since he fell to 11, could that be an option for the Titans?
Could that be a big board moment for them? Yeah.
James on the text line says, I just realized we didn't draft an injured dude for once. This is from James on the text line. Very excited.
James, I hate to break it to you, but Peter Skronsky did tear his ACL in high school.
He did.
Does that count?
It's a few years ago.
It's hard to find football players at this age who hasn't had something, but yeah, it's definitely less of an injured guy than they've been traditionally picking lately.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Rob in Franklin. Rob, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, good morning. You probably are used to hearing me on Hockey Talk for the Preds rather than the Titans, but I had to call in and say this. Jared was so off the wall last night, looking for a pick that was going to be some exclusive thing, some big splash in the water, something that just wasn't. What happened is you've got an experienced GM that made a pick of need of the best person that was available in a spot where we needed them. Perfect. We didn't give up any draft capital. We kept where we were from a resource standpoint. It was the mature decision. What Jared was doing last night was the immature decision, and his antics were wasted over the last 2 months over who are we going to pick. What we did was we picked maturely, and we picked for need for the future.
Thanks for the call, Rob.
Okay, but I'm going to argue with Rob. First of all, it's not an experienced GM. It's a first-time GM.
Yeah.
But, look, they talked a lot about the collaboration last night. I think it's a collaborative effort in there. But, again, I think the pick, where they got the pick, is fine. Please don't fool yourself into thinking all along they're like, no, we're just going to chill back here and take number 11. They were trying to go up to get a quarterback, Rob.
If you walked out of last night and you can't see that they wanted C.J. Stroud, like, I can't help you. Like, they wanted C.J. Stroud, and it didn't work, which is fine. That may end up working out and being the best thing for the Titans. But they wanted a quarterback. They wanted C.J. Stroud, and they couldn't get it.
Now, to the point of Jared's meltdowns, we've heard a little bit. I would love, Michelle, maybe you could do like a greatest hits or something. Can we do that at some point?
Yeah.
We just do that for the rant. Can we just do his greatest hits for the Rex rant?
Let me just shift through all 4 hours.
Yeah. Can you do that real fast? Come on.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. The Rex rant with Joe Rexrode is coming up next. I don't know for sure. I assume it has an NFL draft flavor to it, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Coming up next, this is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
The crowd is standing on its feet. It's in the hole! It's in the hole!
Join 102.5 The Game for the second annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Souls for Souls, June 7th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebs.
See the ball.
Support a great cause and have loads of fun. Plus, you'll have the chance to win awesome prizes. Sign up to play, sponsor, or donate at thegamenashville.com/golf.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormonal deficiencies and imbalances. And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve your quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Electronic Express. These deals are so hot they only last 33 hours. Get a Hisense 65-inch 4K TV for just $349 or a JBL Bluetooth speaker for just $59. Save up to 50% on 4K TVs, computers, housewares, appliances, and more. Don't miss out on a GoWise air fryer for just $79 or an Amana laundry pair for just $449 each. Now through Saturday. Shop online or at all Electronic Express locations.
Harmon Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Harmon Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Golfers, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest new arrivals from Titleist. Check out the new Pro V1 golf balls, designed for longer distance, more consistency, and unrivaled control. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and elevate your game with the new TSR Woods, engineered faster, longer, and straighter. Come in and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code ESPN17. Use code ESPN17 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
He's got big takes.
It's not that freaking hard. Hand the ball to Henry.
Small takes.
You have to defend your decision.
But all takes.
They win, they lose. Just invested a lot into this game. I thought it was the worst press conference.
He is Jared Stillman.
I guess I'm just not a very good coach, Jared.
Weekdays from 2 to 6, Stillman and Company. Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment, let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
Glorious. Victorious. It's so stupid. It's a terrible song.
And it is that time of the day, time for the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode. You can check it out every morning at 7:45 here on the program, either the Rex Rant the Red Rant or the Rob Rant every morning here on the show. And we've been discussing the NFL draft all morning long as well. We'll have Teron Davenport coming up at 8 o'clock, so looking forward to that. But, Joe, the floor is yours for the Rex Rant. I turn things over to you.
Today I make fun of my own takes. Let's face it. My mock draft of Jim Wyatt was Will Levis. Also, by the way, so Wyatt only said who we picked, but I said moving up to 6 to get Will Levis.
Yeah.
So just add that sweetener in there. But since we're going to rip other people's takes, I heard one from Chase yesterday. Dude, I have to bring this up. Chase said,
on my show or on our show or on the draft show?
Yeah, it was in your show.
Oh.
He's like, I truly believe that Marcus Mariota's career would have turned out differently if he didn't play as a rookie.
Really?
What do you think about that?
I don't think so.
His best year as a pro was the next year.
Yeah. His first game, he had a perfect passer rating. So all downhill from there.
I'm glad I thought of that. Now let me rip myself. So let's just go through yesterday was 8th Titans draft I've covered, although I figured out that because of Preds playoffs and COVID and everything, I think it's like the first time I've been in the building for the draft since like the first one.
Yep.
So let's see some reactions to Titans picks over the years. Jack Conklin, he'll probably replace Taylor Lewan at left tackle. Kevin Dodd, that is an outstanding pick. Austin Johnson, too. Oh, my God. John Robbins on the roll. Derrick Henry, what? Wait, what? Derrick Henry? You just traded for DeMarco Murray. Derrick Henry's not going to be a very good NFL back. Kevin Byard, local guy. You sure? I mean, he might be a good. Adoree Jackson, oh, my God, electric punt returns and a lockdown corner. Taywan Taylor, the speed that they need, you can totally see that working out well. Rashaan Evans, you know what? At Alabama, there was a lot. He was really kind of an edge guy. I think he might actually be a pass rusher for this team. Yeah. Jeffrey Simmons, ACL and the history. I don't know. It's a tough one to see. David Long, who the heck is that? Darrington Evans, oh my goodness. Electric, pass catching, going to make a big difference. Isaiah Wilson, perfect. Exactly what they need. They need a new right tackle to replace Jack Conklin. Look at this guy. All the talent in the world coming out of Georgia. Caleb Farley, hey, it's a risk, but risk reward.
That's right.
The reward is there. Dylan Radins, okay.
Probably not.
I mean, at that point, we already knew that Isaiah Wilson was. So it was like, okay, so you're basically trying to make up for that mistake. Des Fitzpatrick, very good player at Louisville. Yeah,
probably not.
I can see that one. And then last year, I just melted down about A.J. Brown.
You did.
Point
probably
being,
you got that one right.
Thank you. That's a lot of variable in there. Point being, and that's. I was right on some of the people I didn't mention. Like, I'm trying to think, what was I right about? I definitely thought Corey Davis was a reach at 5, and it's like, I mean, is he going to be a great player?
Right.
And he turned out to be a good player. But the with a great player. I think he's going to be a good player. And so I think in the end, the Titans are going to be glad that they lost yesterday and didn't get C.J. Stroud. But I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that's the fun of it. The thing about this, and I know I've already ranted about this before, and we talk about it all the time, is people talking today with certainty about anything is just hilarious to me.
Yeah. No, well, look, Will Levis, he may end up being the best quarterback in this draft. We'll see. I mean, things didn't go well for him last night.
I think Will Levis has the talent to be a good NFL quarterback. Don't know if it's going to happen for him, but I think he has the ability.
Yeah. I mean, I've been down on him for a long time. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know that he's not going to be good at the NFL level. This whole thing is, first off, like you guys are idiots talking about the quarterback the whole time, and then they didn't do it again. Like, we keep getting that on text line. Okay, guys.
Whatever happens, then it was always going to happen.
Like, if you can't,
whatever happens was always going to happen. Sure.
Again, if you can't see that they were obviously targeting C.J. Stroud yesterday, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Then you just don't want to.
Yeah. I got a texter that says, I can go with the idea that they wanted C.J. Stroud, but they set a price on each of the players that they wanted, and when the price went above that limit, They moved on and let their board lead them to the next great option in front of them, which is wise and mature. No reason to slander the Titans and say last night was an embarrassment to their leadership. I utterly disagree. This is from a texter on the text line.
Who said last night was an embarrassment to their leadership? We said that?
We did not say that.
I have no idea
Jared?
what Jared
said. I have no clue.
I don't know. I've heard some of Jared. Apparently, I need to spend some time today.
You might need to re-listen
in there.
to the 4 hours.
Yeah. So to be clear, if you're saying that's not, I don't think it's an embarrassment to leadership. I think they took an L. And the thing is, you can talk about them with their price, but ultimately, the Texans changed their mind and decided to take them at 2. Well, look, for most of the lead-up process, we've thought it was going to be Stroud, Young, Stroud, some combination, right?
Yes.
It turned out that way. So some of you are going to say it was always going to be that way. You're not right, but ultimately they had the 2. They changed their mind.
Well, I totally agree with the texter in terms of like that part of it's not an embarrassment. What we wonder about and why this happened yesterday, why is there leaks coming out, and why did everybody run with Stroud yesterday to the Titans to the point where that was, you brought it up. Diana Rossini was talking about it. Ian Rappaport was talking about it. Mike Florio was talking about it. No, he was talking about a whole bunch of stuff yesterday with DeAndre Hopkins, too.
I got so excited.
D-Hop was quickly refuted after that. So we'll see. I don't know what all was there and the sourcing on that, all that stuff. The point is, the question we're asking is not, it has nothing to do with, the Texans taking Stroud at number 2, and that was always going to be the plan. It's why did all that stuff come out about the Titans yesterday, and did that end up costing them what we think could have been the original plan for the Texans, which Charles Robinson talked about yesterday on our show, which was maybe you could grab Will Anderson at number 2 and then use number 12 to trade back up and get your quarterback at some point. If the Texans didn't know for sure that the Titans wanted C.J. Stroud, would they have tried that yesterday?
Right. No, that's the part about this that is strange. And look, again, Diana Rossini, you got the deleted tweet, which to me is, I know, like last night in the media room there was some deleted just because it's inaccurate. I think deleted because told to delete. But again, to read the tweet that was deleted from Diana Rossini, it said this: Houston, Texas just made a wild move. The Titans were fighting to get to 3. Diana Rossini's in the building the whole time.
Yep.
Diana Rossini has been breaking Titans news most of Vrabel's tenure, but I think specifically going back to about 2019. She's in the building. She changed course from Indy, which was guaranteed to take a quarterback, to come here, I'm sure, for Peter Skoronski's presser.
Yes, I'm sure she was very excited.
So here's the tweet. The Houston Texans just made a wild move. The Titans were fighting to get to 3, but once Houston picked C.J. Stroud at 2, the Titans pulled their offer with Arizona. You think Diana Rossini's making that up? You think Diana Rossini's getting that from Arizona while she's sitting here in the Titans building?
I don't think
so. You think that Diana Rossini deleting that tweet might tell you something?
I think it probably should. Just throwing it out there. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter and host of Talking with TD. We'll get his thoughts on a wild day 1 of the NFL draft, including the Titans selection of Peter Skoronski. That's next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
Most people picked them to make the playoffs before the season even started.
And your source for Nashville sports.
He can still wait for 5 more games before he makes that decision.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Half of me wants a cold beer.
Hey Nashville, Thomas Rhett here, and I cannot wait to be back at Bridgestone Arena.
Thomas Rhett, Home Team Tour 23, with special guests Cole Swindell and Nate Smith. First show sold out. Second Nashville show added. Saturday, September 30th at Bridgestone Arena. On sale Friday at 10 a.m.
Get your tickets at livenation.com and come party with us.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called Testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text HUNK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text HUNK to 321321. That's HUNK to 321321.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
I'm Michelle Knezvik. The Tennessee Titans made their first-round draft pick and selected offensive lineman from Northwestern, Peter Skoronski. Here was Rand Carthon after the pick.
Well, I think the thing about Peter and what Mike was saying is his versatility. And when he grabs people, for the most part, they stop, when he gets his hands on guys. So, whatever his length is his length, but he played at a high productive level. Using that same length to stop people. And again, it's another way for us to add not only a good football player, but a good person. He's a consummate pro, even in college, the way he carried himself. And, that was he just made it a comfortable and easy pick for us to pull off the board.
Lamar Jackson got his deal done with the Ravens, 5 years, $260 million, and $185 million guaranteed. Back in action tonight for the NBA. The Kings and the Warriors tip off at 7 p.m. The Warriors looking to close the series, and the Grizzlies trying to stay alive against the Lakers in Game 6, 9:30 tip-off. This report is presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. I'm Michelle Knezvik for 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 1025 and 1063.
1, 2, 3. I think it was a good game. Had a couple of big plays.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun!
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 1025 and 1063 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime.
Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezvik here with you on this Friday morning in Nashville, Tennessee, discussing a wild night one of the NFL Draft. And to help us talk more about that, we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter and host of Talking with TD. TD, good morning. How are we doing?
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing, man? It's the day after the first day of the draft. No, it was a long night for some of us, so It's good to be on. And Rexrode, man, God bless you for getting in there. Ooh.
Yeah, it was Nick Suss and I were the last to leave. Man, sometimes they just write so slow. It's pathetic.
And he's on the air this morning at 6 a.m. Just a legend, this Joe Rexrode.
Yeah, writing those novels, man.
That's right. That's right. So, TD, we will get to the Skoronski pick here in just a second. But I am just curious for your thoughts on, obviously, there was a lot of noise yesterday about the Titans and C.J. Stroud and potentially moving up to number 3 with Arizona. And then we saw what Houston did, picking Stroud at 2 and then moving back up to 3 to get to Will Anderson. What do you make of, the way that all played out, and how real do you think the interest was from the Titans standpoint in C.J. Stroud?
You know, man, there was a lot of noise this whole off season coming from the Titans. So it's just more of the same that we've seen. But I'm pretty sure that Stroud was the guy that they wanted, and that if he was there, they probably would have made the move. I'll say this. I know he's the guy that they were interested in. Now, I kind of jumped ahead of myself saying they probably would have made the move. I don't know for sure, but it's crazy. It was like the movie Draft Day. You know, some of the trades that you saw, especially from the Texans' perspective, coming back up to 3 and getting Will Anderson. You don't see teams usually do that, you know, make a jump like that to get someone other than a quarterback. So Will Anderson is a player they must really, really like, but they came away in really good shape out of first round.
Yeah, TD, I mean, just on Stroud, I mean, credit to you because you in Indy, I believe, were the first person to, report that there was interest. So do you feel like now looking back on all of it that it was kind of him all along, or do you think there were ebbs and flows with that and other quarterbacks?
I think it was him all along, to be honest with you, and they just kind of kicked the tires on the other guys, not Bryce Young, who they felt wasn't going to be able to be drafted, So I think all along it was him. I mean, they had a shot at Levis, right, at 11, and then if Richardson was the guy, they could have moved up to get him, So, I know Houston ended up trading for the number 3 pick, but they could have done it, right, to get Richardson. So I definitely think Stroud was the guy all along.
Okay, so now Levis is sitting there still, which I know we had a lot of fun last night in the media room talking Will Levis, as you know, TD. Mostly Karski and I yelling at each other just because I like interesting stories. But he's sitting there, which I don't know how surprised you are, but I'm very surprised he didn't go anywhere in the first round. Hendon Hooker's sitting there. Titans have 41. Do you think there's any chance that one of them could be a Titan? Do you think that should be a consideration right now?
I think you got to consider it, but I don't know that I do that, man, because you look at you got a quarterback on day 2 last year, and I know a lot has been said about Willis, but he's actually doing basically what they said. I mean, they said Willis was going to be a pure developmental player, so to expect him to, have a good showing last year was going against what they said they drafted him to do, right, and to develop. So I say all that to say, I mean, you look at Hooker, you look at Will Levis. I mean, are these guys that you absolutely like better than Malik Willis? Are these guys that you would draft and bring in and, compete with Willis and eventually take over for Tannehill? I don't know. I think Hooker is tremendous value there. I mean, Levis, too. I just don't know that I do that, especially knowing what you got to get at receiver. And, you still got to look at the edge position. It's just a matter of how that board's gonna settle out as far as, horizontally the best player available versus need.
TD, what did you make of the actual pick the Titans made with Peter Skoronski at number 11?
It is the ultimate Tennessee Titans pick. It's not glamorous, but it's essential, right? And a lot of teams, they tend to build from the inside out as far as the trenches are concerned, and that's what they did, man. They got a guy who, I said it to Stillman yesterday, it's one of the better options for them because you plug and play at left guard. And I know, it's not the glamorous thing, but it's exactly what a blue-collar team like the Titans would do. Getting a guy that will be able to be a tremendous run blocker for them. I mean, look, he had his draft party at a daggone pizzeria. So, he, like I said, he fits this Titans personality to a T, if you ask me.
So, Dillard, let's say left to right across the board starting opening day. And we don't know that. I mean, they absolutely could draft another lineman here before this draft is over. But Dillard, Skoronski, Brewer, Brunskill, Petit Frere. Is that your starting offensive line right now in that order with Skoronski inside, Dillard outside? And how good do you think, if so, or even if not, if you have some other combination, how improved do you think the Titans could be up front next season?
Yeah, I think from a pass pro perspective, now that would be the lineup, but I think from a pass pro perspective, they have improved. There's definitely drop off at center, right? I mean, we know Ben Jones is a top tier player. So losing him is going to hurt. But I think if you look across the board, you got Petit Frere in year 2. Brunskill has been a solid player for the 49ers. And then, like I say, you plug Skoronski in, and now you're, improving your run blocking there. And then in addition to that, I think Dillard has potential to come in and be a solid option for them. So I like what they have in the offensive line there. That's a good start. And it is collectively an improvement, if you ask me.
So, TD, the Titans scheduled to pick as of this moment at number 41 coming up tonight. What do you think is on the table for the Titans at that point?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Jalen Hyatt if he's there. I mean, I think Joey Porter Jr. go to the Steelers at 32, but I think, like I said, Hyatt is an option. Josh Downs is an option. So those are some of the things I would look at. I mean, there's some good players available. We mentioned the quarterbacks also. Keon White, if he's there, there it is. You could fill your edge position and add some depth there. So I think those are the options. I get a feel that they'll go receiver. Tyler Scott is another one that could be around for them at 41. And then at 72, it's one of those positions that you didn't fill. So they have a good opportunity to add some solid players.
I mean, if they're going to mash people, why can't they? Got to get Darnell Washington today, don't they?
Get as big as
Come
possible.
on.
Yeah. I forgot about the tight O lineman. He's someone else. I definitely have to mention. I mean, Michael Mayer's on the board.
Yeah.
And he's drawn Jason Witten comparisons. So that would be your inline guy.
All right, TD. Before we let you go, I do have to get your thoughts on this. What do you make of the Philadelphia Eagles last night landing Jalen Carter at number 9 and Nolan Smith at number 30?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, listen, man. Howie Roseman, I'm telling you, I'm not one of those people that do it, but I'm tempted to call the cops on him, man, because he continues to steal over and over and over again. And you saw when he was on the board, they made that move. Boom, they're going to go up and get him. And I think you look at Fletcher Cox, you look at Jordan Davis there, listen, Brandon Graham is one of the best people in the NFL. So, anytime you have a player with quote-unquote baggage or background or character issues, if you have a mentor like BG to, help out, that's going to be an awesome thing for him. And, I mean, look, he'll have 3 of his other teammates there because – they got Nolan Smith coming off the edge, and it's funny, so many comparisons to Hassan Reddick, and now he'll be able to literally learn from Hassan Reddick. And eventually, when BG moves on and Fletcher Cox, I mean, those guys are on 1-year deals, so they're probably going to, ride out to the sunset after this year, and then you have really good options to come in and take over, man. Eagles fans are very fortunate. Howie Roseman is, he did the thing, man. I give him credit.
Teron Davenport with us here on Robby and Rexrode. TD, great stuff as always. Thanks for taking time to be with us early this morning. Enjoy the rest of the draft, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, for sure, man. We got rounds 2 and 3 today, so let's get it.
See you over there.
Teron Davenport, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your thoughts on the Titans, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. The Titans select Peter Skoronski. What do you make of that move at number 11? What do you make of Houston and Indianapolis taking quarterbacks? We'll get into all that coming up next. Make sure you tune in for Nashville Sounds baseball tonight at 6:35 on 94.9 The Fan. The Sounds take on the Omaha Storm Chasers, the AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. They'll take on the Storm Chasers as well on Saturday and Sunday to finish the series. Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by 312 Pizza, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Family Leisure. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We are your home for every big pass.
Kevin Harvick takes over the race lead.
Big wreck.
Trouble turn 2. One car is around and hard into the outside wall.
And big win.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has won the Daytona 500.
Yeah! Woo!
Catch every lap of NASCAR on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Michelle Knesvik here for Superbook Sports. Baseball's back and the push for the postseason is on for hockey and hoops. The Celtics closed out the series with the Hawks last night. They will be moving on. We got 2 games tonight that could be wrapped up with the series. Game 6 for the Sacramento Kings and the Warriors. The Warriors are a 7.5-point favorite. I think Sacramento covers the 7.5, but I do think that the Warriors will move on and advance to the next round. I don't think this one will go to 7 games. But on the other hand, the late game tonight, the Lakers and the Memphis Grizzlies. The Lakers are a 4-point favorite in LA. A 4.5-point favorite in LA. Listen, I'm taking the Grizzlies plus 4.5 to cover the spread, also plus 175 on the money line. I think we're going to get a Game 7 back here in Memphis. And you should place all those bets on Superbook Sports because it is the best wagering app around. It's my official sports book because they have a direct line to experienced bookmakers behind the counter in Las Vegas. Plus, you can get a $250 bonus when you sign up, deposit, and wager all in the same day. So do that today. You can get a $250 bonus, and you can use it for the games tonight and this weekend. So don't let the spring pass you by without winning some money with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Nissan. Are you tired of April showers ruining your mood and turning your car into a muddy mess? Well, Newton Nissan has a solution for you. I want to introduce the brand new Newton Rainproof car. Yes, you heard it right. Our cars are specifically designed to keep you dry during those pesky April showers. Our patented rainproof technology includes a roof that doubles as an umbrella, a windshield that repels water like a superhero, and tires that have built-in rain boots. With the Newton Rainproof car, you'll never have to worry about getting wet again. Say goodbye to ruined hair and soggy socks. And the best part, if you buy a Newton Rainproof car during the month of April, you'll get a free set of windshield wipers that sing in the rain. You can stay dry and shop our full selection of rainproof cars at newtonnissan.com and buy a car from the comfort of your dry home with Newton FastPass. It's the fast, easy, and dry way to buy your car online. So come on to Newton Nissan and make a splash with our rainproof cars. Hurry, the offer ends when the rain stops pouring, which could be never.
Attention buckaroos, it's time for the Franklin Rodeo. So saddle up and hold on to your lasso. It's 3 days of bull riding, calf roping, western wear, funny clowns, and some of the most talented horses you've ever seen. Join the Stampede from May 18th to May 20th. The Franklin Rodeo is held at the Williamson County Ag Expo Park and is brought to you by Ram Rodeo, Franklin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Williamson Health, Event 1FX, and Wesley Mortgage. Tickets on sale now at franklinrodeo.com. It's a buckin' good time.
Real estate investors, listen up. D&M Development announces the pre-sale of Nashville's only non-owner occupied short-term rental resort community. The New Cumberland is perfectly located between Germantown and East Nashville, with amazing views of the city and the Cumberland River. The New Cumberland is a resort-style community featuring community pools, spacious kitchens, 4 bedrooms, and 4 baths. D&M Development is releasing 16 units in their Phase 1. Available now. Go to thenewcumberland.com for information. That's thenewcumberland.com.
We try to stay cool by being on social media.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game and on Instagram at 1025 The Game Nashville.
Hey!
Oh yeah, and like us on Facebook too.
Good morning.
You're locked into Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty.
I have the radio on. I'm listening to
1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, where their advanced pay by TJ option can save you thousands when selling your home. I've got a 4-pack of tickets to give away to the Franklin Rodeo coming up on May 18th. Be caller number 5, 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. Caller number 5 will win a family 4-pack to the Franklin Rodeo coming up on May 18th. So a wild night last night, Joe, in the NFL draft. The Titans select Peter Skoronski at number 11 overall. Richardson goes to the Colts at 4. Stroud and Anderson both going to the Texans at 2 and 3. And Will Levis sliding out of the first round last night in the NFL draft. What a day it was. And, Joe, a lot of the day yesterday with speculation that the Titans were targeting C.J. Stroud last night in the draft. And ultimately the Texans step in, and that's who they select at number 2.
I'd like to apologize to some of you who are interacting with us. The text line is going crazy, driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com today. For some reason, some of our texts back are like not going through. Maybe it's just because it's so wild. So I need to go ahead and rant on Scott from Franklin just right here with the microphone because we've been trying to send you responses. Let me read Scott's text.
Okay.
Quote, you don't know the Titans didn't just use Diana Rossini as a tool last night. Stop talking like you're sure just because it offends you that the media would get used like that. You all been saying not to believe anything you hear for the past month, so why would yesterday be any different? I still enjoy your show, just think you're missing coverage here because of a potential bias, end quote. We both had some responses to that, which didn't get through. I want to make sure Scott hears us.
Yes.
So, first of all, you had LOL offends us. Dude, this is what happened. They wanted C.J. Stroud. It's absolutely clear. They leaked it. The Texans burned them. I don't know what would offend us. We're just calling it how we see it. I said, Scott, I understand what you're saying, but it wasn't just Diana. This is I think we need to make this clear, okay? John McClain said 100% they're not taking C.J. Stroud at 2.
Yep.
Charles Robinson came on this show and laid out the plan for them, which involved using 12 to get the quarterback. I think now, how would they know that the Colts weren't going to take Stroud? I don't know. But I think they thought they could get Stroud at 5 or 6. Adam Schefter's on the air screaming at people willing to bet them they're not taking Stroud at 2. Yesterday, so Diana Rossini switches gears, goes from Indy to Nashville to come here. That's not happening if something big isn't happening here. She's in the building. She's been, I'd say, she has been a media person for ESPN who has broken news with the Titans, who has been around the Titans a lot, who was in the building and in places none of us were, the rest of us were last night. I mean, she came in briefly to the media room, but other than that, basically, she and Jim Wyatt were in different places than we were. Okay, now that could have to do with like where she was broadcasting, but Diana Rossini's been a pretty consistent media element here.
Yep.
No one's offended by anything, and again, I mean, I think media people are used. We asked Charles about this yesterday. If you can't add all this up, and you want to add all this stuff together and just think this is just some BS smokescreen, I mean, you're welcome to do that. You're dead wrong. And so I'm trying to lay this all out for you. And frankly, you want to be very honest here, Scott, there's other stuff that I know that I got last night informationally. Is that a word?
It is now.
That helps me feel very strong in saying what I'm saying right now, okay? The Titans wanted C.J. Stroud. They were going to move up. The Texans changed their mind for whatever reason and took him at 2. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Period.
And the Titans reacted, and they took Skoronski. And look, that's what happened. C.J. Stroud was their guy. They wanted him to be the quarterback. And they had the opportunity to take Will Levis at number 11, and they didn't do it. Now, neither did anybody else in the first round, which I did not anticipate last night of him sliding completely out of the first round. But, we've talked about this for months. Like, you're not taking a quarterback just for the sake of taking a quarterback. If you love one of the quarterbacks, go up and get him and take him. Well, obviously, they didn't love Will Levis. Otherwise, they would have taken him last night at number 11. Now, if he is available today in the draft, do you consider it at that point? I don't think they're going to, but I guess maybe you could.
And he may be, someone may be moving up to get him well before that.
Exactly. But
maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not. I have no idea. We'll see what happens on the Will Levis front today. But I'm just saying, like, I think what happened yesterday was pretty clear. I think they wanted C.J. Stroud, and the Texans took him. And then the Titans reacted and took Skoronski. And we've talked about this. Like, I like Skoronski. I'm very interested to see what position he's going to play. Is he going to be left tackle? Is he going to be left guard? I kind of think he's going to be left guard, which if you're taking a guard at number 11 overall, typically don't see that in the NFL. And if you're doing that and that's the position he's going to play, he needs to be real good. He needs to be perennial Pro Bowler at left guard if that's the way you're going to go. But, like, none of this to me is like a commentary on Skoronski. I'm fine with the Skoronski pick. I hope it works out for the Titans. But you cannot convince me that Peter Skoronski was their original plan yesterday. You just won't convince me of that.
Right. Well, Peter Skoronski, didn't do a visit here. It doesn't mean everything. You only have 30, but I mean, even their pro day, they sent the O-line coach. Actually, though, I do feel like Jake from Greenbrier may be onto something here. Okay,
what's this?
If I can get to this, back to this. Jake from Greenbrier says, as a Titans fan, what happened last night was clear. We gaslit Houston into taking Stroud, who they did not want, executed to perfection. Rand and Vrabel are puppet masters. Then he says, in parentheses, this is my narrative. Welcome to the spin zone.
Well, maybe that's what you go with.
Jake,
if that helps you sleep at night.
Jake, some Titans fans are actually going to believe that, buddy.
Well, maybe that's what you go with. Got a text that says, do we know why Diana deleted the tweet about the Titans pulling their offer to Arizona? This is from a texter on the text line.
Hey, let me ask you this. Why would she tweet it? Because last night in the media room, there was some talk about this, and it was like because she was told to delete it or because it was inaccurate. Why would she tweet it?
I'm going to guess that it wasn't inaccurate when she tweeted it.
Right.
That's just going to be my guess.
I'm going to guess she was told that by somebody. And then I'm going to guess she was told, please delete that by somebody.
Now, we can get into the conversation of should you delete that or should you not if we really want to, but I'm going to doubt that she just made that up. I'm going to imagine that came from somewhere probably inside the Titans building.
So if you're the Titans asking her to delete it, I guess that's the thing. At least it opens up the door to someone saying, well, maybe it was just inaccurate. And again, Diana Rossini, it's just like any other media person. I don't have a problem with what Diana Rossini did in any of this stuff. She's told stuff, she reports it. I mean, but if you go through the last few days from stuff from inside the Titans building, it's been stuff that's all over the place.
What do you make of the fits for Stroud in Houston and Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis, who the Titans are now going to have to deal with for the foreseeable future? Now, who knows whether or not either one of those end up being the long-term answer in both Indy or Houston respectively, but now you're looking around the rest of the division, and there's Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, C.J. Stroud in Houston, and Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis.
We know Trevor Lawrence is good.
Yes.
I'd say he's on the verge of very good. Is he very good yet?
The way he played the second half of the season last year was very good.
Could he be great? I think it's possible, but I think he's going to be very good. I think CJ. Look, I think the Titans are in the end a few years from now going to look back at last night and say, that worked out okay. Because I don't think CJ Stroud's going to be great. I think he's going to be good. Could you do worse than good? Sure. I mean, I think he'll be. I think he'll be a good starting quarterback for the Texans, win games, and they'll be, they can be good. I have my doubts that he's going to be great. I think Bryce Young's the only guy I'm confident is going to be great, but Anthony Richardson, that's going to be the fascinating one to watch. I mean, obviously Shane Steichen now, and he's a quarterback guy and all that stuff. Richardson is going to be, and this year it's not going to happen. I mean, this year you're going to see.
Is he going to play this year?
No, I don't think so. It's going to be Gardner Minshew, and I think ideally he doesn't see the field, but eventually it is going to be fascinating to watch this unfold. And I could see him being great. I could see him being bad.
I would normally agree with you that he's not going to play this year, and he probably shouldn't play this year. But Jim Irsay is still the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. We could see that happen very quickly.
That's a fair point.
615-737-1025. We'll take more of your thoughts on the Titans and the NFL draft. The selection of Peter Skoronski last night at number 11 overall. What did you make of the quarterback movement in the draft last night as well? All that's still on the table. 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3, The Game.
The offseason is underway for the Predators. But don't worry. We'll keep you covered with all of the happenings in Smashville.
Wouldn't it be a great party if we could win a cup?
What does new GM Barry Trotz have in store?
We're going to make good decisions. We're going to develop our players.
We are your home for Smashville. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Beach Boys. Live in concert. May 25th, 26th, and 27th at Schermerhorn Symphony Center. Performing with the Nashville Symphony. The Beach Boys return to the stage. Tickets on sale now at NashvilleSymphony.org. Don't miss the Beach Boys live with the Nashville Symphony.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Trading in or selling your car, truck, or SUV?
WeBuyAnyCar.com takes the hassle out of selling in 3 easy steps. 1. Get a free online valuation. 2. Drive to your local car buying center. And 3. Walk out with a check in about an hour. So don't wait. Get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at WeBuyAnyCar.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
40 spas on display from Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select.
Prices starting as low as $29.99.
Family Leisure has over 100 sets of patio furniture with free delivery.
That sounds good to me, too.
We should really look at the wood play gyms for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. Family Leisure's vacation at home sale in Franklin and Antioch.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics at TriStar Stonecrest in Smyrna offers world-class orthopedic care. The doctors at this location specialize in hand, knee, shoulder, hip, foot, ankle, and spine. Make better use of your time at Houston Clinic Orthopedics with on-site diagnostics and testing, timely appointments, and easy access to the facility. Get back to enjoying life. Schedule your appointment online at tn.houston.com. Houston Clinic Orthopedics at TriStar Stonecrest in Smyrna. When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics.
Willie Nelson and family are on the road again, live in concert.
On the road again.
With Bobby Weir and Wolf Bros, featuring the Wolf Pack.
Esau holds a blessing. Brother Esau hurt.
Particle Kid, and more.
Whiskey River, take my mind.
The 2023 Outlaw Music Festival, presented by Wheatley Vodka, September 10th. First Bank Amphitheater in Franklin. Tickets on sale this Friday, 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Outlaw Music Festival, part of the Farm Bureau Insurance Concert Series.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-283-5948. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-283-5948 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-283-5948 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-283-5948.
The postseason is here. Whether it's the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs or the NBA, we have you covered on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
If you're Amy Adams Strunk, you should be furious.
But what if you still you're still able to get Richardson?
But that's not the guy they liked.
But how we know? What if they did?
They pulled the offer, so they liked Stroud, and they were going to offer it. And when Houston took Stroud, they pulled the offer for 3.
I see what you're saying.
So Stroud was their guy, and they got the sign off from ownership in order to do that.
I see what you're saying.
And so because it leaked out there that they liked Stroud, Houston decided to take him at 2.
Because Houston knew already they were going to move up again to get Anderson.
Well, they knew you weren't.
Yeah.
Wow. They knew that you were out if they went with Stroud.
That was the draft show last night. Jared Stillman, Derek Mason, Chris Sanders discussing the Titans, and at that time, the Texans selecting C.J. Stroud last night. Make sure you tune in tonight for NFL draft coverage on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Coverage presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment, thenewcumberland.com, Smoky Mountain Tops, Parman Energy, B&B Flooring, and the Nashville Sheriff. We're taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Joe, you have another text on the text line?
Sean says Skoronski clearly was their safety pick. Yes, they wanted Stroud, but how badly did they want Stroud? Did the S2 scare them off a bit? Did they want him but simultaneously not want to mortgage the future to get him? I think everything leaked from the Titans in order to force the Texans' hand. Gave the Titans a reason not to have to move up. Based on the presser, you could tell it both sucked and was relieving. Yeah, sorry, man. I disagree. First of all, on the S2, we've laid out their desire, all the smoke around them and the Texans that kind of give you, I think, a clear picture. I don't think their presser was some like relief presser. I mean, look, they were talking about Skoronski. They're excited about Skoronski. I think Skoronski's potentially a good pick where they got him.
Sure.
But the S2 score, let's make that clear. Titans are one of 15 teams that have access to those scores. Colts also. Texans do not. Titans know that 18 is not an accurate number for C.J. Stroud. 18 is an accurate number for his first test, in which apparently there were all these extenuating circumstances. He took it again. I don't know the number. The number is much better than that. I know that. So, no. If anything, the S2 score was the 18 was used by somebody, don't know who, by somebody, to try to get C.J. Stroud to drop.
Somebody who is one of 15 teams that have access to it in the NFL.
Right. So yeah, like I just I think they did want him badly. And they don't have him. The Texans do. So we'll see how that works out.
What do you think of Will Levis sliding out of the first round? So that's the other part of this. They did have an opportunity last night at number 11 to take a quarterback. They had Will Levis sitting there if they wanted him to take him, and they did not, and they took Peter Skoronski. And not only did they not take him, nobody else in the first round did either. So Will Levis still on the board heading into the second round today. What do you make of his slide last night where he's gone from being, in some cases, a top 5 pick? I think worst case scenario I saw was like even yesterday, I think somebody had him at like 18 was the worst case scenario that I saw.
Yeah, I think that's the lowest I've seen for Levis.
And now he's out of the first round.
Right. Yeah, Randy Reddit's going to be have a little credibility issue for a while over there. So we've seen, certainly, I think every year there's somebody who slides.
Yep.
How many times have we seen players in the green room? Is it they call it? They do call it the green room.
They do call it the green room.
Right? For both the NBA and NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen players who then didn't go at all? I know it's happened, but I can't remember a quarterback who was projected top half of the first round who didn't go in the first round. I can't remember that happening. We know Aaron Rodgers, Brady Quinn, 2 famous slides, still went in the first round, both of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened. Right? If it is, I'm just blanking on it, but I thought for sure somebody would get him at the back part of the first round last night. Like even when he slid past, 20 was like the breaking point, right? So Seattle came up, and I was like, Seattle, could they take him here at 20? And when they didn't take him, I thought somebody's going to trade up at 28 or 29 and go get him. So they've got the quarterback, and they got him on the 5th-year option. I was honestly kind of stunned that didn't happen.
Yeah. It's funny because Levis, again, has been my number 5 of these 5 quarterbacks all along. I wouldn't have given up a lot to get him. I thought the Titans liked him, but, Dane Brugler kind of talked me into, let's keep in mind the injuries, the toughness he showed playing through the injuries. And we've all talked about the offensive line, how bad it was. The OC switch, I mean, Liam Cohen was really good. He had a really good year with me. It's not like he's never played any good college football. But this is, go back to Rodgers and Brady Quinn, 04 and 07.
Correct. No, 05 and 07.
05 and 07. Draft coverage then was basically Mel Kiper and some other people on the internet and stuff. It's so much more fleshed out now. At The Athletic, we have some people who, it's just all they do is they cover the NFL draft year. Not just Brugler. My buddy Nick Baumgartner was a columnist in Michigan. He switched. He's just a draft writer. We have like 3 of them.
It's a year-long thing. I've already seen mock drafts for 2024.
Right. So what that means is more people talking to executives, more people watching the film, just more. Like, I think it's hilarious that ESPN actually said the analytics said that Levis. That's like, what? The analytics? It's all guesswork. But the guesswork is a lot more informed now. And so I think it's one of the most shocking results in recent draft history that Levis didn't go in the first round.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. We didn't see one mock draft with him not. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see one mock draft with him not in the first round.
No.
And we make fun of mock drafts, but again, look, a lot of mock drafts are just people. When I do a couple of Titans mock drafts, I'm guessing. Here's what. And a lot of them are that, but there are mock drafts that are very reported too.
Sure.
And it's going to be interesting. Someone asked if he's going to go today. I think so.
I would be.
I'm pretty sure.
Stunned. Well, first off, there's 2 rounds today. So,
yeah.
Second and third. If he doesn't go in the second round, I will be stunned.
There's something we don't know then.
Yeah, exactly. Geno Smith, the texter, says, showed up and fell to the second round. So there you go. I don't remember that, but I will believe you.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that happened.
Willis was in the green room last year. Is that right? Malik Willis was in the green room?
Honestly, I don't
know. Apparently it happens all the time. Well, wrong about something else.
Was he really?
I don't remember that, but I could believe it. And that last year was weird, though, because there were people who had a lot of those guys like, these guys are bad. They're not going high. Right. And I think a lot of the conventional wisdom was, yeah, but it's quarterbacks in the NFL. Like they always go high. And then it turns out all the talk of it being bad was right. This year, yeah, there's some people who were down on Levis and were like, no, he shouldn't go top 5. He's not that good. But no one was like, no, he's going to go in like the 3rd round.
So why did he slide? That's what I keep going back to. Like, why did he slide out of the first round? There was the toe injury stuff that Chris Mortensen came out with last night in the middle of the draft of, maybe he has to have surgery on it. We'll see what all that shakes out to. We've talked about the reporting around the Will Levis interviews, and we talked about that, a few weeks ago when we saw it of it doesn't sound like Will Levis's interviews are going overly well with some of these NFL teams. Was that real? Was that smoke? Well, now he's out of the first round. And then there's, kind of what I've been saying all along, which is I don't think he's that good. Now, I'm obviously not an NFL talent evaluator either. So when you factor in all that stuff together, why do we think he is slid out of the first round and that it's gone to this degree with Will Levis?
Well, I think there's another case. So much stuff comes out during draft time. And this is why I asked Charles to give me a percentage. I think the percentage is actually way more in the favor of information than misinformation. Of course there's misinformation. But people aren't out there. The reporters who cover this over a long period of time, Charles told us about getting burned on Darrelle Revis, right? That goes way back. If you're an experienced reporter dealing with these people, you've got to have credibility both ways. And all of which is to say, I think the interview stuff we heard about Levis was real. It has to be. I don't think the toe, you don't want him to play next year anyway. Like someone called Shotgunner says, Rams come up again. I can see that.
Sure.
I mean, Liam Cohen knows him really well, but so he has maybe a different perspective on him. I mean, the toe is not a non-starter. You get surgery. You're not going to play next year anyway. But the interviews have to have hurt him, right?
What did he do in those interviews?
I don't know.
I mean, look, I get it. There are interviews that go poorly sometimes, but if you think that he is, we've talked about the physical traits that he possesses. If you think that there's a chance he could be a great NFL quarterback, how bad would the interview have to be?
Well, but except, you know what? It is the most important position. This is the face of the franchise. This is the guy who's leading my whole locker room. So I don't think he has to just be, again, someone gave the example of the Step Brothers job interview.
Yeah.
By the way, have you seen Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know the job interview I'm talking about. Anybody who doesn't,
I can see it.
Feel bad for. Yeah, I don't think it has to be something that dramatic. If he just doesn't come off as someone First of all, like you said, he throws those picks. There's some questions about him, decision making. Does he make decisions quickly enough? Can he be accurate enough? Also, is he leading our team? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have to be dramatic, like, oh my God, what a turd,
Right.
It can just be, I just don't have a good feeling about him leading our team. I mean, I think all the intangibles and all that stuff is more magnified now, too.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in John. John, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Good morning, guys. I watched last night, and they had Mr. Levis and Herndon together going, well, this may be time, but now is it a race between Hendon with his injuries and Levis with his injuries? Who has a better chance of going first? And out of the first picks, where do you think he could end up going? I appreciate y'all.
Yep. Thanks for the call, John. So, I guess I would still say that Levis is going to go before Hooker today. I mean, I would guess that to be the case. But I don't know. I mean, it's fascinating that we're having this discussion heading into the second round. I'll say Levis goes before. My gut tells me that it's not going to be that long before Levis goes today. Either the Rams will take him or somebody will move up early in the second round here and go get him. But it's wild that we're talking about this. I'll go Levis, but Hooker, I'm interested to see where he goes today.
Yeah, and of course Hooker had a party in his hometown. He had Big Joe Milton sitting there on the couch, ready to be called next year. He had Josh Heupel there, so he was certainly hoping to go last night. I think they're both going to go in the second round. I'm with you. If I had to bet right now, I'd go with Levis going before Hooker. I mean, I am the guy who mock drafted, the Titans moving up to get Will Levis.
You did.
So, yeah.
615-737-1025. We'll take more of your thoughts on the NFL draft. We'll continue the discussion on round 1 and look ahead to rounds 2 and 3 for the Titans coming up next as well. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game has an all-star lineup Monday through Friday. Batting first at 6 a.m., it's Robby and Rexrode.
Yeah, you take that. You take that. Take 80% of that.
Followed by Chase and Michelle at 9.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I need my caffeine so much.
Then it's Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace at 11.
Yep, green light, let's go.
You've got a lot of options.
He say, she say. And bringing it home at 2, Jared Stillman for Stillman and Company.
That guy will be a good coach.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Baseball fans, your home for the best baseball action is 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan with the ESPN Game of the Week and the Nashville Sounds. It's all brought to you by Superbook Sports, the #1 sports book in Vegas. Download the Superbook app today.
Hey, it's Jared for Hiller. Sometimes replacing equipment in your home can be overlooked until something breaks. But there's actually big problems that can come from outdated old vintage HVAC systems. Older systems require more maintenance and results in higher utility bills. This month during Hiller's Vintage Showdown, they're giving away a free HVAC system to the owner of the oldest unit. It's easy to enter. Just go online to happyhiller.com and submit a picture of your old unit. Everybody wins with a trade-in credit and 0% interest financing for up to 48 months on replacement. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Call the Happy Face Truck today.
The Nashville Sheriff is hiring correctional officers. Earn $52,500 after paid training and probation. Positions are available immediately. You must be 21 and over with a high school diploma or GED. Come, join our family. That's $52,500 with great benefits. Apply now at sheriff.nashville.gov/apply or call 615-862-8170. Earn $52,500. Stop searching. Apply now. The Nashville Sheriff.
Men, this is Evan Bass with the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and I've been helping men with sexual health issues for many years. I've seen the pain and anxiety that men walk into the clinic with when erectile dysfunction is affecting them, and I also know the heartache and difficulty it can bring to their partner. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've been successfully treating men for ED for many years now. We've seen the amazing impacts that those treatments have on a man's confidence and positivity. And we've seen the wonderful things those treatments also do for a man's relationship. That's why I'm pleased to announce that we are now offering the same great services we offer at our Nashville clinic at our new location in Franklin, which will make it much more convenient for those men living south of Nashville to get treated. So call us today and book your appointment at our Midtown location or at our new clinic in Cool Springs. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. And it's also a vital service that provides important emergency information when your community needs it most. Tell Congress you need AM radio to stay in your car. Because when cell phones and the internet are down, this free emergency service is critical. And when you don't have electricity, radio in the car is often your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
For the love of Tennessee at dawn. For the love of the fight. For the love of having nowhere else you'd rather be. For the love of Tennessee. Travel safe. Brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
The sports talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic and Junnie Riddle for Michelle and Junnie.
As long as he wants to coach there, he will be able to coach there.
I think that really did save the hope of this team. Michelle and Junnie, presented by Superbook Sports, every Saturday morning at 9 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This week's Nashville's best deal is Bite-A-Bit in the heart of East Nashville. You can get half off a $30 gift card while supplies last at theGameNashville.com/deals. Bite-A-Bit features all the best Thai food, sushi, and cocktails that you will love. You can check them out at BiteABitThaiSushi.com. Robby and Rexrode streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. We are live from our 102.5 The Game studio, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. First off, just thank you to all of you for your participation today. It's been a wild day on the text line, on the YouTube chat. We could do a whole lot more of the show today.
You guys can stay on. I'll take my weekend.
Yeah, we'll just keep going. Thanks for your participation. We've had a lot of people weighing in today, so appreciate that. Appreciate the thoughts that you're bringing to the table, and looking forward to more of them coming up on Monday as well. Joe, the Titans at 41 overall, scheduled to pick right now, and then at 72 later tonight as well. So the second and third round taking place tonight. What are we looking at here from a Titans perspective? You've gotten the offensive linemen, lots of intriguing names still on the table at multiple different positions. What do you think we're looking at today from the Titans standpoint as we look ahead to the second round?
Receiver, tight end.
Darnell Washington.
Look, it could be an option. I like the Darnell Washington idea. My goodness. But certainly you could have, going with the big board, you could see a corner today. Going with the big board, you could see an edge today. I wouldn't rule out an offensive lineman. I have to think one of the two picks is a wide receiver, right?
So it's got to be. It's got to be.
Like, sometimes need has to be a flashing neon sign. Need. I mean, one of the two picks, if one of the two picks today is not a wide receiver, I'm trying to think, I was going to say, like, I'll punch Buck in the face in the media room tonight, but he's too skinny now. I'll do the mayo and the coffee thing, okay?
Will you really?
No, yeah. Joe.
That's fine. I'm fine. They're going to pick a receiver. They're going to pick a receiver today, right?
I did throw up when I got home.
What?
Seriously, it was so bad. Don't even say that on air.
I'm fine. That's how confident I am that they're going to take a receiver. I'll do the mayo and the coffee thing.
No?
That will happen.
I feel like
I warned
like
you.
It.
It's going to happen now.
If they draft two receivers, then Robby has to do the coffee thing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, but one of them is going to be a receiver. And I would absolutely be in favor of two people who are catching passes from Ryan Tannehill next season.
Yeah. If one of them's a tight end, so be it. Michael Mayer still on the board. Darnell Washington is still on the board. But I agree, like, wide receiver, you got to do it today. I mean, whether it's second round, third round, obviously Tillman and Hyatt are still on the board. We've talked about Jonathan Mingo. They had a visit with Tank Dell. It was like, does he intrigue them as well? Like, there's a bunch of different routes that you could go at wide receiver, but I would be stunned tonight if in some form or fashion they're not leaving with at least one wide receiver.
Yeah. Look, again, I continue to say I like Cedric Tillman a lot. I really do. I think Cedric Tillman – I think you could look at the first round, see Darnell Wright go higher than projected, but see no Hyatt, see no Hooker, and say – some of the Tennessee offense stuff maybe still causing skepticism. I don't know. I think Hyatt has the speed to absolutely make big plays in this league. I don't know that he's well-rounded enough. I think Tillman is, and Tillman's fast enough. Tillman ran a 4.5. I mean, that's fine. But if Vrabel talked about speed, how much of that is, a priority? I mean, Trey Palmer from Nebraska, fastest guy in the draft. I think I mocked him to them in like the third.
Yep.
So there are tons of options at receiver right now.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in AB. AB, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Good morning. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Big Titans fan. Darnell Washington or Tillman should be the pick. No matter what, in the second or third round, we need to come out with those two players. Yep. What do you think about that?
Hey, thanks for the call, AB. So, I mean, look, if you told me
Cedric
right
Tillman
now,
would be blocking too.
I mean, if you told me right now that they came out of there with Tillman and Washington, I'd take it.
And think
I'd
again.
sign up for it.
So Skoronski, Tillman, Washington. I don't know how many games they're going to win. They're going to smash some people.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like go back to when they had Jonnu Smith and A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, and, lots of speed and all that too, but also tackle this.
Now, I kind of have my doubts if they stay at 41 and 72 and they don't move, that they'll be able to get both those guys.
Agree.
the run on wide receivers kind of started last night, and now I think you're going to see it go early in the second round. So, like, Tillman could be gone. Tillman could be gone by the time they pick at 41. Now, I'd probably be surprised by that.
I think Tillman could drop to the third, but I think high third,
Yeah. So I'd be surprised if both are available at 72. The Washington part of this, I mean, I know they have Chig, so I know they have their quote-unquote receiving tight end. But Washington, number one, the size that he has, I mean, I think he'd be a heck of a blocking tight end. But number two, think about him in the red zone. Like, you could do some things with Darnell Washington in the red zone. I have no doubt.
Right, like that's one of the things that they started to figure out last year, to the credit of Todd Downing, them, that Chig in the red zone started to become a real presence. Yeah, how about both of them? How about having two young, promising tight ends? And, Chig's got to improve as a blocker.
Yep.
Darnell's coming in here ready, I think, to be an inline presence.
Yep. Well, and remember, I mean, the top 30 visits don't mean everything, obviously, as we saw last night with them taking Skoronski, who did not have a top 30 visit with the Titans. But, I mean, they posted Keon White, edge rusher out of Georgia Tech. I mean, could that be an option by the time 41 rolls around? I know that's probably not what everybody wants to see. You probably want to see a wide receiver, but we've talked about it. You can never have enough quality edge rushers in this league.
Like if they went edge receiver today, I think that makes sense too. You've got, Key, I think is a nice pickup, and you got Landry coming off an ACL, and you got Weaver, and you need some depth, and there's a lot of guys. I mean, look at a guy like Zach Harrison. Talk about Buckeyes.
Yep.
Derek Hall from Auburn. There's a lot of interesting edge guys right now on the board.
Make sure you tune in tonight for our draft coverage here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game as the second and third rounds get underway. Going to be a fascinating night. Will Levis still on the board, and Hooker still on the board, and the Titans picking at 41 tonight. Looking forward to it. Joe, have a good weekend, and we'll have a lot to talk about on Monday.
Yes, we will. We need more show.
We do.
You guys can stay on, like I said.
Thank you very much.
You're in.
That does it for us today. Chase and Michelle up next. You're listening to 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
They played tough. They came back and they still lost.
And your source for Nashville sports.
Yes, you want to have a fire sale, but who's going to buy those players?
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.